Sick of the same old radio sound? Then you need vibrant radio. Spice up your life.
A very good afternoon to everyone, one and all. I'm here in the studio with lots of people. Let me tell you, I first spoke to R.V. Narang, who introduced me to Akram Hafiz, who introduced me to Cal. And that's how the human chain goes on. But we actually have in the studio Cal, who's going to introduce my guest, who I simply don't know. A very good afternoon, Cal.
Afternoon, how are you?
You're Cal Palmer of Cal Palmer Productions.
Correct.
KPP.
There
Yes,
we go.
you sound like KFC or McDonald's. Nice to have you in the studio.
Nice
Just introduce your guest to me. Tell us a bit about yourself as well, who you are, a little bit.
Okay, I'm the agent of Amanda Molloy,
Uh-huh.
we're a film production company,
Uh-huh.
and we have one talent, which is Amanda Molloy.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Based on how good she is and how special
Well,
she is.
you might have one talent, but what a
talent.
massive talent I've seen and
It's
heard.
enough. My hours get eaten up,
Yes,
so
yes.
it's enough.
You only slept 4 hours last night.
4 hours last night.
Yes.
There you go.
And we couldn't get to. So tell us about
Yeah.
Amanda a little bit, because she can tell us about herself.
She's a very special person. She helps a lot of people with her gift, and she surprises people and she gobsmacks people. And I've seen this consistently now since October of last year. So it's been very surprising for me, because there's no answers, there's no science behind it, there's no real
explanation
towards what she does and how she does it.
But because we can't explain it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
There's most things are like that.
Exactly.
But we pretend we know it. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's Amanda. Who else is in the studio with us?
So we have Amanda's partner, Tony. We have a great guy called Hafiz.
Yes.
And we have the CEO of Cal Palmer Productions, Monica Budia.
Okay.
And that's it. And then we have you.
Oh, well, yes. Hi, a very good afternoon to you, Amanda. It's lovely to have you. Actually, my name is Anand, and in Sanskrit it would be Ananda, which sounds like Amanda. So we are very close. Tell us a bit about yourself, if you like.
Oh God, it goes back a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
I'm going back to a child actually, about 2-year-old. As my mum at the time used to, well, I didn't really know what was going on. I was only 2-year-old.
2 years old.
2-year-old, yeah. And
About 700 days old.
Yeah, so I was 2-year-old, and I used to go over to my mum and say I seen things and everything.
At 2?
Which, yeah, 2, yeah. Yeah, 2-year-old.
2-year-old don't even speak, man.
Yeah, I did speak it too.
Yeah, not only speak,
I used to be pointing at things, and there was nothing there.
But you could see it.
I could see it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow.
my mum used to think I had like imaginary friends and things like that.
But like E.T.
Pardon?
Like E.T., the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
wow.
I used to see things, point, but it goes back to like my mum's side of the family, whereas she's like that, her grandmother and everything.
So it's a
And
line of
It's
gift.
it's a line of a gift. Whereas when I got to like teenage years, about 14, 15, I used to hear full-on voices like in my head. So I used to think,
Did you ever see a psychiatrist?
No, I didn't. But my mum
Because
was
they'd
gonna
spoil
tell-
you. No, they would spoil you.
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm loving and supporting what
Yeah.
you're saying. But
Yeah.
psychiatrists, because it doesn't fit their bill,
Yeah, right.
they
Yeah,
try to make you look nuts.
yeah, that's right.
I've seen
yeah.
a lot of this.
Yeah.
Being a GP,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah. So it got really, really strong, whereas I couldn't cope at one point where I did have breakdowns and things with it.
Between the so-called real world,
The real world.
and your psychic world.
Yeah, yeah. It used to get in the way of my life, but I had to just cope with it. You know, Mum said, you're just going to have to live with it, you know, so it was really, really hard.
So
Now
your,
I
your
accept
gift
it 'cause
was your
it's-
trouble, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, a lot of people think it's like a burden in your life, but I help so many people out there that...
You
have
don't
lost
mind the
people.
burden.
I don't mind it now, yeah.
It's
I'm
a
quite
cro-
used to it.
The
It's
cross you
normal.
bear.
Yeah, it's like a normal life now, so
Yes,
I just accept it, you know.
Okay. So from 2 you started this, then around teenage you had breakdowns.
Yeah.
But I don't consider all breakdowns as breakdowns. They are spiritual awakenings.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
approaching different bit of your human persona.
Yeah.
A lot of, you're
Yeah.
not nuts, you're just different.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. You do feel different. It's actually, when you're at school and you're sitting there and you're getting people talking to you and thinking, who the hell are these people? You can't say anything to the teacher, you know, and you just get on with it. But as the years got on, at 14-year-olds, I started doing the spiritualist church.
Very good. Where?
And it was in Heaton.
Okay.
And
okay.
Heaton, I
I
started
have a lot
doing
of friends
the
who go, I'm very,
Yeah.
despite being an educated doctor, I also know that part exists. A lot of doctors know they exist. Like,
Yeah.
not just spirituality. A lot of male doctors, white male doctors, have wives who do homeopathy, but they don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
In case people laugh at them.
That's
But they
right.
happily and secretly practice. Why? What's the harm? So At 14, you were going to spiritual church and your mother didn't stop you.
No, I used to go along with her.
Okay.
It used to be a regular occurrence. We used to go 3 times a week.
Wow.
And I used to get up and give messages to full audience.
At 14?
At 14, yeah.
My God. Okay.
A lot of people used to say, how's she like that? Isn't she so young, you know?
So
I used to give full, messages and everything, and people were quite shocked by it.
Because it was truthful.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go back because the jealousy was bad. It was quite bad.
Because you were better than some oldies.
Yeah, that's right. The older ones were a lot of jealousy around me because how's she like that? And she's so young.
First of all, she's a woman.
Yeah.
Then she's only small.
Yeah, that's right.
And she's better than me.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. How can that be allowed? Yeah.
And I find what was really interesting as well is I get the physical symptoms, how people have passed away as well. So I find
So you take it on?
I take it all on. So
okay.
I mean...
You wear the cloak?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So like having a stroke and things like to me is normal.
God. Oh my God.
And one day I'll have a heart attack and brain tumours.
Oh my God.
Amputations.
But that is empathy, the ultimate empathy.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So you go beyond your own skin.
That's right.
As a white female, and you could be sitting with a Chinese person, a 90-year-old, and you become that person.
That's right, yes.
So do you become that person on this side of the border or the ones who have passed away?
Ones that passed away, and I do both actually.
Okay.
Do both. But sometimes the transfiguration could happen as well, where my face will change to the person that's passed away, and they'll actually talk through me.
Yes.
So that really...
See, I come from India where these things are common.
Yeah.
People don't get so het up unless they study medicine, and the brown doctors become so white that they're totally against all this.
Yeah.
You know, they laugh at yoga and all that.
Yeah.
Whereas the Swamis can hold their breath for 15 minutes. I've seen all this.
Yeah.
But they don't want to believe it. There must be a trick. No, there isn't a trick. There is another world beyond Western medicine. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it was quite difficult. At 14, did you have any friends, girlfriends who were not psychic?
I had a lot of friends.
So how did they cope with you?
They loved it.
It's like being friends with Prince Charles when he was 14 or Shakespeare when he was 12. It's very difficult, because you got something they haven't got.
Yeah, that's right.
But you love them so much, you went beyond your gift. They could still love you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And did you do a normal school? You did O-levels, A-levels and that kind of...
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've done school and everything.
What for? Someone so talented, why do you need the paper?
Exactly. Well, everything I've done in my life, with my job, I mean, I used to work in sales for, about 20 odd years.
Oh my God. I walk into the shop and she said, you need 7.5 brogue. I said, how does she know? And my wife said, have you met her before? But did you do that?
Yeah, I used to do that. I couldn't do a job with everyone that approached me. I used to stand there and go, oh my God, I'm going to have to pass this message on. So I used to sit there and I couldn't get rid of them.
Because you couldn't help it. You couldn't.
I couldn't help it, but I couldn't get rid of them.
Wow. Wow. So it doesn't fit in with allegedly normal society.
No, it doesn't.
But if you have a gift you're giving in love and not charging even, why shouldn't you?
Exactly.
Why should you not?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you've grown older and you do this now, and that's all you do.
I do it.
This is your life.
This is my life, yeah.
When did it happen? That change from selling things to ideas and spirituality and spiritualists?
Oh God, it was to be I've done it over 20 years now.
Just this?
Just this, yes.
And you're from Newcastle?
I'm from Newcastle,
and I didn't even know you. How can that be?
Strange.
Because I had lots of patients that I go into that area.
Yeah.
I've done complementary therapy.
Yeah.
I haven't done it. I've helped people. Because I believe that Western medicine just cures the symptoms. It just it doesn't do anything long term. Mm-hmm. What is a chronic disease except something doctors can't solve? So give it a name. Chronic disease means I haven't a clue. Like MS, this and that.
Yeah.
So you must work with a lot of ill people because it's people who are in pain who would come to you.
Yeah, I get a lot of people because I do also healing as well. It's called psychic surgery.
Yes.
Where I had a gentleman came a few years ago who had a big tumour in his stomach, and he was busy going to the RVI for appointments and things. So I was giving some healing and everything. I was going back and forwards every week and everything. We went back for a scan, and the tumour had shrunk to a pea size. Then I went back again. The hospital were like, it's disappeared.
What's happened? Yes.
Where's it gone, I don't know if he's mentioned if I had done it and anything, but it just totally disappeared.
Well, most people wouldn't dare tell the consultant.
That's right,
because he's in a white coat, he's 6'2", he's got posh English, he's got a big car. But I've been there a lot with consultants saying, excuse me, she has got better. Or it's just, what do you call it? Spontaneous remission. So when it gets better despite the drugs, it's the doctor. And it gets better through God, it's spontaneous.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit the bill. So you must have a lot of that.
I do, yes.
But we cope with it because you got used to the ways of the world.
I do, yeah. I don't get a night's sleep as well. So
how much do you sleep?
I would say maybe it's about 4 hours, 5 hours.
And you're not jaded, you don't look tired, you look happy, you look without a crease on your forehead. How's that?
I don't know. The spirits must be keeping us young.
But also you feel you're serving people, isn't it? You're looking after people.
I am. I'm looking after people.
So you're not self-obsessed as 99% of the people are. I mean,
That's right.
ever since iPhone came, our smartphone, everyone's into selfies. Everyone's photographing themselves. They're not bothered about you, me, or anyone. Just me. And
That's right.
Facebook is, I've had cornflakes today, I've eaten this. Who cares? Do something for other people, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I've seen me not wash my hair for a week and thinking, God, this hair is disgusting. I'm too busy giving everything to everybody else and time me help. And I think, God, this hair's thick or greasy.
But you'll never fall ill because you haven't got time for you.
That's right.
People who are so involuted, oh, I've got a little pimple, I better see the doctor now, today. It will turn to cancer because they're so obsessed. I mean, having been long enough in medicine, I realize that people focus on illness, not on wellness. You know, whatever you hate grows, just let it be, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you said psychic surgery. That makes me think a bit. What is psychic surgery?
I just place my hands just a couple inches from the body, wherever you're getting the problem. And people will tell me the sensation that they get is like a warm feeling. It actually goes so hot. They say that it's like being under a sunbed or a radiator or anything. And then they feel the tingling and then the heaviness.
My hands are tingling just now. I've done Biora healing. I'm much into stress and biofeedback. So I'm really at the edge of science and at the beginning of wisdom, which is you. So as you're speaking, my root chakra is tingling. My hands are warm. And I've helped people. I'm very much connected with neuro-linguistic programmers. I had a guy who had one hand missing in the war. He lost a hand, but his pain was in that phantom limb. And the chap just transferred the pain from the imaginary hand or the missing hand to the actual hand. And then he could deal with it. He could take tablets and it worked. It sounds so stupid, but it works. But doctors won't tell other doctors because, hey, you can't say that. It's voodoo.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Right, yeah.
So in the West particularly, we're coming from the East, and people accept these things. People accept holy water, Zamzam water, Lourdes water, but they won't tell the doctors,
That's right.
in case he thinks you're stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I dread going to the doctors because when I'm seeing the doctor and I'm talking about myself, I see people walking around them and think, I wouldn't dare tell the doctor. They'll take us away in a white coat.
Okay. On that point, would you like to, I would invite you to do a reading on me now.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is it talking? Things will come through in any way,
Okay. So when that happens, just
I will.
I'm Indian. I butt in all the time.
Right, okay.
Just tell me, shut up, and I'm going to say something.
I'll say, be quiet.
Okay, do that happily. Okay. So apart from being this highly energetic, highly psychic medium that you are, is there any other fields of interest you have? Do you listen to any music? Do you watch any movies? Do you dress up? Exactly.
I haven't got time.
Because you have too much to do.
That's right.
So in your case, art is long, life is short.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just saddened that I've never met you before. I've been in this region from 1978. And honestly, I've been on Mike Parr's show communicating about complementary therapies, taking echinacea. I'm 68. I take no drugs at all. None. Just take vitamin C. And I take ispagula husk occasionally. And I take fish oil for my brain. And that's it. Vitamin D because of the color of my skin. I'm in the wrong place in that way. But otherwise, no blood pressure, no nothing.
Yeah.
In a funny way, I admire you because I'm close to you. People who are not close to you, who are always other doctors, will find you difficult. Yeah. Oh, she's saying it's all in the mind. Yes, it is all in the mind. I've come a different route. I've read a lot of Deepak Chopra, done some meditation. I do biofeedback measurement of heart rate changes. I don't need it. I come from India where if a guru blesses you, it's finished. But for the Western mind, who's all into the mind and not into the heart, then you have to show it on paper and on machines. So that is why I'm keen. I had a thing called Mind Mirror. It measures brain waves while you're singing. To me, it's just a toy. You don't need it. When I'm singing, I'm in a meditational state. But the Western people need proof, visual, the eyes.
Yeah.
It has to be the eyes. How can we help people? I mean, Spice FM, obviously, I'll promote you as much as I can. I'll film as much as I can. And Cal is there. Cal Palmer Productions, the company. And I'm here to promote any good work. And I think this is good work. Plus, it's not the standard boring stuff. 5 fruit and veg, 5 liters of water, exercise. Nobody talks about sleep, in this culture. Sleep is easy. It's cheap. It's free. But, and I was telling Cal this morning that I have an app that measures your body movements on the iPhone. And it costs £2 or something, called Sleep Cycle. And once a week, once in 10 days, I notice it. Last night I slept 7 hours, 59 minutes at 90% quality. And I'm totally, It costs nothing, No sleep. I've never taken a sleeping tablet in my life. You don't need it, man. I mean, I drink alcohol because others drink. I join them. I don't need alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Do you drink?
No.
Why?
Not at all.
You don't need it.
I don't drink at all.
Because you're always drunk.
No, I'm not.
With happiness. No, with happiness and with service.
Yes.
Because you're secreting so much serotonin in your mind, being giving and happy. You don't need an external. I mean, have you been to India?
I haven't, no.
You must.
Some place I would like to go.
You would love to meet equal spirits. There are Swamis who have just had milk and fruit for the last 50 years, perfectly healthy. I met a 104-year-old Lama, Tibetan Lama, and he walks around, moves around. He says, because I serve people, I'm needed here, so I won't die. And that is his belief. I mean, you're very young, but I'm saying this is your life, really. You've set your track quite early. Is there any big celebrities you've done that I would know of who are alive still?
Yeah, I've done a reading for Cheryl Cole.
Cheryl Cole?
I've done a few for her, yeah.
Okay.
And her mum, yeah.
Okay.
I was on a trip down London 4 years ago, just with my daughter, and I had mentioned that we're going to meet someone famous. I forgot all about it.
You told your mum?
I told my daughter.
Your daughter, sorry. You were the mum. Yeah.
We forgot all about it. We got down there and we booked in a hotel, walked along Oxford Street, and I just stood there and just looked and said to me, look who's standing there. And she said, it was Peaches Geldof. And I said, go over and get your autograph. And she wouldn't. She said, stupid. I says, it doesn't matter. We're going to see her again tomorrow. And we did. We bumped right into her.
You're going to see her again tomorrow. You just decided.
We did. We just decided. Spirit said, you're going to meet her tomorrow. And we walked into Selfridges and she was there. And I spoke to her agent, gave her a reading. And Paula Yates, her mum, came through. And I passed this message on.
Mm-hmm. So that's a real living person who's famous.
Yeah.
What about people who passed on, people who died in the physical world? Famous people? Famous
people, yeah. I've had famous people come through. I had a connection with Sarah Ferguson, who was married to the royal family. I met her about 6-7 years ago. Lady Di came through and I was actually speaking to her.
Wow.
I've had a lot of famous people come through.
Is there anything
you tell people, they'll think you're crazy.
No. I don't think I'm crazy at all. Yeah. Listen, while I'm sitting here, there's the BBC radio is passing here. There's ITV. I just don't have the gadget to catch it. You're that radio that catches the frequencies that I don't have. That's all it is, Yeah. There's X-ray waves. There's gamma rays going through my head.
Yeah.
There's Jesus's oxygen that he has breathed still in this room. Mm-hmm. Nothing dies, It's just
so you just live on. Yeah.
So anything you can tell about that lady that I told you that we don't know?
Yeah.
If it's okay to say.
Yeah, it's okay to say. She told me that she was happy and everything, but it was wrong what happened to her.
Mm.
She actually explained to me that a death could have been stopped, it could have been prevented, but...
So was her death planned?
Yes.
I always believe that,
100%, yeah.
I believe that because they cleaned up the motorway. If I died in France like that, they would block the motorway. They wouldn't do her post-mortem that fast. Mm-hmm. Remove her uterus that fast. So there is the conspiracy is not a conspiracy, it's the truth.
Yeah.
And she just evaporated. But I saw a program in which it was about body language. And when Charles was getting married, he was wiping imaginary tears like this. A program was called Tells, like when you play poker.
Oh, yeah.
So you study each other's body language because you're not telling the other person. And Charles was wiping his tears imaginary. Why the hell did he marry her? Even his grand uncle had more guts and left the throne. If you love someone so much, even if it's the lady he's married to now, why kill someone in between? And I don't mean physically kill her, but he did kill her. I mean, she was a bright spark. She was a teacher. She was beautiful. The world adored her. And yet she had to be punished for her prettiness.
Yeah.
It's quite sad. It's quite sad.
It is, yeah.
So at the moment, you're talking to me and the other people in the room. Is there anyone else in the room that I'm not
Yeah,
safe?
I just seen a gentleman standing behind you there, putting his hand on your shoulder there. But when he got me attention by coughing, he was going...
Okay.
He's just got his hand... He's standing right behind you there and he's got his hand on your
left shoulder. Why did I ask
there.
you that question? Because somewhere I also felt it.
Yeah.
So I'm tuning in and learning to be your disciple.
He had a very bad chest.
Okay. That's how you're going for him. Oh my God.
This is what he's doing to me.
Okay.
I don't smoke.
No, I know. But he did.
He did, yes.
So you're suffering for his smoking.
I've got like a lung cancer there.
Oh, wow. So instead of passive smoking, it's passive psychic reliving someone.
Yeah.
At a very ordinary level, a empathic doctor or an empathic healer, it takes on people's pains. In India, a lot of great people died. Swami Vivekananda died of throat cancer. His guru died of throat cancer. He didn't do anything bad in his life. He was a really holy guy, but he was taking on other people's karmas. And then when his pot was filled, he died of that. So we do temporary, as doctors, we do. It's called transference in psychiatry. So if I'm sitting with you, and if I'm a genuine psychiatrist, not with you, but let's say I'm a normal psychiatrist, you should retire early, because if you're truthful to yourself, you can't do that job. You really cannot do a psychiatrist job and be true to yourself for long enough. It's a very painful job, or a pathologist. These are very difficult jobs, because you don't get the job satisfaction of chatting with the patient, then say, or candy doctor, all that. You're a pathologist, you never hear anyone say that. Have you ever been to the pathology department where the only dead bodies around?
Actually, tell you the truth, I used to be a funeral director for my friend.
Oh my God.
That was bad. It was bad and it was good. It was interesting.
It'd be fascinating to...
It was, because I used to have to see to the people that had passed away in the chapel arrest, whereas I just had to take people in families for viewings, whereas I didn't get any peace. So I used to go in there, take the lid off the coffins, and
you start talking to them.
They used to talk to me first.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I said, "Oh my God, here we go. They want me to pass a message on,
yes.
to the loved ones."
And you did.
I did, yeah. People loved it.
Did you ever upset anyone?
No, I didn't.
When you're passing a message of my father saying, "You little brat, you didn't do this, didn't do that," did you ever have to pass such a message?
No.
But are you saying that usually the dead are quite calm about it and they forgive?
Yeah,
they let go.
Yeah. If they come through and they're feeling guilty about something, they like to get it sorted out. There was one lady that came in, and a mum. Oh God, when a mum came through, it was actually the ashes I had to collect upstairs from the chapel, and came down, and you kind of imagine ashes. I mean, how the hell can ashes speak to you? But they do. So I'm carrying them down, and I heard her saying, "Oh, when my daughter comes back, you better tell her that she needs to get the ring off her sister, and tell her husband, about her dad having an affair and everything." And she didn't want the ashes put into a flower pot where the dad's ashes were, because he was having an affair.
Oh my.
And this was the mum coming through,
All right.
So I thought, should I tell this woman I need to?
Yes, exactly.
I need to. So when she came in, I said, with me being like this, she says, "What do you mean?" I says, "With us being a medium, spirit do talk through." She said, "I bet my mum's been talking to you because she had a big mouth." I says, "Yes, she has." And she was like this all the time. So when she came through, she told me exactly what I had said. He was having an affair, and she said, "Yeah, you're right. He was having an affair."
So the daughter knew.
Yes, and she knew about the dad's ashes being in the flower pot, and the mother didn't want to be put in the flower pot with the dad because he was having an affair.
Wow. It's amazing how you run a parallel world, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And people accept you.
Yeah.
Is it because you're very sincere about it?
I think what it is with me as well, I'm so down to earth. I make people feel comfortable.
Yes.
A lot of people
so you
don't
make
understand.
a rapport.
Yeah.
And then you talk.
Yeah. I think what it is as well, a lot of people can grieve for a lot of years. And when I hear from somebody that's passed away, and when I sit down and talk to people like the chapel arrest, people come in heartbroken, and I was sitting with them for about an hour. I feel totally different since
it's counselling.
It's counselling as
psychotherapy,
well, yes.
And something to live by.
Yeah.
Like they've gone, but they haven't gone.
Yeah, that's right.
My own mother, she's 87 now. She's never shed a tear for my father ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I lived with my mother, and I asked her. She says, "Well, he's here."
Exactly.
And he said last night he came and said, "Have some kejri as you would call it." And I said, no, you're in another world. I can't serve you from this side. So she's enough in this world to say that you're in another world. But she talks to him.
Yeah,
she said, "Why should I cry?
Right, yes.
He's with me all the time."
Yeah.
So it is about that, isn't it?
Yes.
It is about allowing the spirits to also be, instead of science has come in, so I can't measure it, I can't take a picture, it doesn't exist. Kind of philosophy.
Yeah. Your father's so funny.
Is he? Go on then. Tell me. He is.
He's the character. I'm looking at you and he's behind you.
Yes.
He's sticking his tongue out to me.
Same to you, Daddy. My mother is the strong one. She's calm, quiet. My mother is the bloke in the house.
Yes.
And my father was the dandy.
Yes.
Hello, laughing, entertaining.
You
couldn't care less.
Yeah,
and he
right.
made us like that. He gave us that spirit of reaching out. And my mother is, when troubles us bad, then I think of my mother.
Yeah.
When it's about romance, poetry, laughter, joking, teasing, being funny, reaching out, that's my daddy.
I know. He's sticking his tongue out all the time.
And tell my mother when I go, I say, your husband was sticking his tongue at me. It's interesting how these characters appear, isn't it?
Yeah.
But do you not think we have shrunk our worlds by stopping all this? I mean, people are scared of people like you. I mean, about
Yeah,
a
they're
few
all
hundred years
terrified.
ago.
Yeah, you're right. I would have probably been burnt alive.
I was going to say,
yeah,
you'd become a Hindu.
I would have been a witch.
Cremated, not buried. at one time. Whereas in India, still, we don't call them witches. When there's Kali Puja, the goddess with the tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
Not my father, but Kali. Women go into a trance and they move their hair and people say it's okay. They don't laugh at them. They don't spit at them. They don't put them down. Because that woman is in a trance. Or the dervish singing dervishes, the Muslim Sufi saints. So, there was things, but science doesn't like it. And religion also likes to control it. Religion doesn't like anything outside the book. So I believe there was reincarnation and everything in Christianity. And then suddenly it's all removed out because it didn't suit someone, or didn't suit someone. Then you cut, and you got a very tiny book. But the width of all religions has that emotional, spiritual, social. Don't you agree? It was all there.
Yes,
Mother Earth,
yeah.
Gaia.
Yeah.
The Druids had it. The Aztecs had it. The Indians had it and have it. And it's quite difficult for people in my country that I come from, India. This is my country, but in India, where the book tells them don't do this, but their culture says do it, and they do it. So it's an amazing place that, do you do anything with chakras?
I actually worked through the third eye. I never knew what this was, from being very young. Yeah. When spirit are communicating with me, every time I used to enter into the spiritualist church, but when I'm giving like one-to-one reading audiences, I go completely paralyzed and numb in the third eye here. So that's how the chakras, and that's how I work.
At the Shiva's third eye.
Yes, third eye.
But can I also tell you that in my work with Heart Math, a company that measures heart rate variability, we put someone in a scanner, and if I look hard enough, I'll find it. David Brett is the guy's name. We put him in a scanner, and when he was in coherence, the maximum brain activity was here.
Yeah.
So how did these ancient guys know that the forebrain, the front of the brain, is the executive producer of the entire brain? There's a call. Hello, caller. Who's that, please? Hello.
Hello, Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine.
Waiting for such a long time.
Yes, I kept you waiting by switching the phone off because you would interrupt every 10 seconds. But go on now. This is Jasmine. It's true. Jasmine, you got Amanda Molloy. Speak to Amanda.
Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Jasmine.
Wonderful. Congratulations on your extrasensory perception.
Thank you.
It's great that you have it, and it's extraordinary that you do have it. It's wonderful. Yeah. I have it also, but not to the extent you have it.
Wow.
Good.
Wow.
And it's wonderful, Doc, that you bring such people on the show.
It is amazing,
very lucky
It
to
is
have
amazing.
you bringing such people. Amanda, I get it in all sorts of ways, and I also get it through the third eye, and of course from the navel as well. Another chakra. And you're more than normal. It's when people and doctors and other people can't believe that and that the people have such powers, it is normal. That's when they have to feel cognitive dissonance, as you call it in language. It is a problem because people cannot take it on board. And
talking off
then
air.
you become somebody else
It's the
who is
emotions.
Okay.
the
So just
unknown.
emotions come through of this lady.
Okay, listen, Amanda is crying. Are you crying? Because she's crying here with you.
No, I'm not
In
crying.
her emotions.
But your emotions are that of crying. Is it possible you block them?
I have not blocked them. I'm feeling empathetic with Amanda.
So she's empathizing with you, you're empathizing with her. Okay. All right. Okay. Phone in again. We'll have a break now. It's break time. And then we'll
Thank
speak
you very
again.
much
Thank you for phoning. Great.
Amanda, for being such a wonderful human being. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
For the community, by the community. Spice FM, 98.8 FM.
Amanda, tell us about your journey, Amanda.
Where do I start?
The sun story.
The Sun story, yeah. The Sun story, how I met Cal. It was really strange. wasn't it? How we met.
How we met was, well, I'll tell you this part. I mean, it was a case of my granddad would go to Amanda. My father had made national press a year before.
Who, your granddad?
My father had.
Your father did.
So my father had made national press, and for some reason, my granddad would go to Amanda. And I've never met her. She's read the story.
So the first link is between your father's father and Amanda. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And how was that? Where does he live?
He passed away 24 years ago.
So, but the link was Amanda and your
My
late
granddad.
granddad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my late granddad. So because Amanda had read about my father in the Daily Mail, my father's the first man in the world to beat Alzheimer's, and that's why he made
To beat Alzheimer's.
To beat Alzheimer's.
And nobody beats
So-
Alzheimer's, so it's very important.
so
You and I do a
he
show
went
on
from
it.
final stages to beating it, and I say beat it because he was near vegetative state, so then coming back and being just
As good as he ever
incredible,
was.
as good. Well, I don't think you change as a person, so you don't ever go back to whom you were,
No.
but you have all the faculties and all the, I guess, the emotions.
And you start
and the
remembering
know-how,
recent things
and
which
you remember
where you put your
know,
toothbrush, where you
exactly
your keys,
You
those kind
can
of things.
Bathe yourselves, you can clothe yourselves, you can do everything.
Wow,
from that
I mean
stuff.
that's
So-
massive change.
Well, that's through eating coconut oil.
Yes,
So-
and I want to do a whole show on coconut oil with you
Sure.
sometime.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem with that.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
So that's based on that. But when Amanda read about this story, she made contact, as did so many, based on other family members going through the same problems and issues. So I would help them through my website, and Amanda, in the same way, came through and said that your granddad's come through and says that you're supposed to manage me in life, and I thought I don't have time to manage anything, so I look after my dad. I gave up my own life for him.
How long did you do that? How many years were you?
Well, in total, it would be 8 years.
So 8 years of your life was dad years.
It was dedicated to Dad,
Dad.
yeah, because
Wow.
it was early prognosis of Alzheimer's was 2006, 2007. So thereon, it just it got worse and worse and worse until the coconut oil came into our lives. So yeah, and I said to Amanda, I really don't have the time to do this. So I'll leave me your details. I'll get in touch. But she was, I guess.
But she didn't go away.
She didn't. It wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't she wasn't bugging. Or
No,
anything
but
of
she
that
didn't
sort.
just say, "Oh, I'm not bothered."
No. She didn't go away, and I thought, you know what, this is all very strange. And in terms of my granddad coming through, who passed away 24 years ago. But the reason I met with Amanda is because she described him to a T.
Exactly as things were.
Well, my granddad used to wear like a fisherman's hat and used to smoke a pipe.
And she saw all
So
that.
my granddad always had a pipe in his mouth, and he didn't look Indian. He looked very sort of Italianish and
Eurasian.
Yeah. So very fair skin and all the rest of it. So, and I thought, okay, look, there's something here. I should meet with her. And then I met with her, and this was March of last year.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
So
So
I gave her the
physically,
same, physically met.
You've
yeah, I
only
mean,
met her for a year.
Yeah, I've only known her, for this amount of time. But even then, I mean, when we met, it was about 35-40 minute meeting. And I unfortunately had to say the same thing. I look after my dad. We're in pre-production for our movie, and that the only time I get out of the home is when my dad used to visit a day center. So I said, I don't have the time, but when there is, I'll let you know. And Amanda, so gracious and so nice, she said, I completely understand, but I want you to take this. And I said, what's this? And she gave me like a gold envelope, and it said Cal on it. I said, this ain't bribery, is it?
Well, what do you expect from an Indian? It has to be bakshish.
So I said, it's not bribery, is it? No, we laughed. And then I went on my way, and she went on her way. And unfortunately, my father passed away last year, June. And probably a couple of months later, Amanda got in touch, and she goes, Cal, it's time for you to open that envelope.
Wow.
She said she condoled and said, I'm sorry about your father. So I opened it, I sat down, and I found it. And I'd forgotten about it, to be totally honest. It's not something you think about. And it said, "Dear Cal, I'm very sorry to say that, but your father will be passing away on June 15th,
Oh my God.
2015." And it was
Like a prognostication.
well, my father. It was Father's Day, and it even said in brackets Father's Day. And my father
my
only
God.
passed away 15 minutes into June 15th, so he passed away at
Exactly on Father's Day.
15 minutes into it.
Yes, yes.
So I said, "There's something here."
Too many coincidences to remain coincidences.
Well, it was March, and sort of end of March. I mean, how would she know, you know, about this happening? So it was surprising, jaw dropping moment, and then we kind of went on our way, and I said, "This is something that people should know about, based on what you have as a
So
gift."
it is growing in your mind, saying I shouldn't just ignore this and respect her and full stop.
To be honest with you, after the minute I saw the letter, I said, "I'll speak to you later. See you later." And I said, "I'll come back to you." And then after a couple of days, I came back to her, and in those couple of days, I thought, "What is this woman about?
Yes.
What can she achieve?
Do for people?
What can she
Yes,
do
yes,
for people?"
yes.
I myself love to help people and families through.
So that
who have
notion
Alzheimer's.
resonated.
So there was a link there for me to partner with Amanda in somewhat way. So then I spoke to a person in the Sun whom I knew at the time, but they weren't there. So then I spoke to another person, and they said, "This is incredible. Would love to do a story."
Yes.
And then she made front
When was
page.
that? When was that?
November. I think it's November 20th.
Okay,
edition.
if you photograph that and send it to me, I'll link it on
I
this
think it's
YouTube.
on the event page anyway on Facebook. But yeah, I think it was November 20th, and she made front page, and then there was a double spread on her and me and what she can do and what she has done. And I think the relationship between me and Amanda is based on the fact that she helps, and her
People.
gift is vast.
And it's for others.
Yeah, it's for others, and I think someone like her should be known for these reasons. It's not to become a star or fame. It's based on who you are as a person, because she's very down to earth. I don't think you should chase that. I mean, perception is reality, so you need to, go after the correct line of medium you want to go down. So, but sorry, I took up your time, Amanda.
No, it's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. No, it's good.
That's okay.
You'll say things that she won't. So it's,
Yeah.
it's good that we can all get into it. So, Amanda, first of all, is that all true?
Yes.
What do you make of this years of getting to know, not getting to know, giving an envelope,
I get
not
a lot
open to the...
I
If you give me an envelope, I'll secretly look at it now. I'm like a little boy, like my daddy. So how do you see that what he said, what Cal has said?
Everything is, everything
true,
he said
yeah.
is all true, yeah.
But from your perception, how does it look?
I think it's so funny, because when Cal's in London, he'll ring me up and we're talking about things, and he'll go, "Is me dad there?" I'll go, "Yes." So I'm passing messages on. It's like a three-way conversation on the telephone.
Like a conference call.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's here now. So
He is. He actually is.
So it says you were going to do some reading on somebody.
why don't we do a new doc?
Do me?
Yeah.
Happy to be done. Go on. What do? I just sit quiet and
Just sit quiet there. As we came into the room, I just seen a jumper stand behind you, which was be your father, and he was just tapping me on the shoulders. He was keeping moving side to side. Where he's a joker, he's a carry on. He should have been on the stage actually. He used to always like to wind your mum up as well, but he's keep like he's like coming and he's singing, but he's like always on the go. He was like that when he was here, you see. But he's such a miss as well. He's such a funny character. He's constantly sticking his tongue out. He's doing it now. And he's touching me on the back of the head, because sometimes you'll feel it touching on the back of your neck as well. And when you get that feeling, that is your dad letting you know he's there, you see. But he must have suffered a lot with his chest, because he keeps giving me a lot of chest. He keeps coughing all the time to get me attention. Mm-hmm. So it's around the chest he keeps giving me there. And when your mother does talk to him out loud and she sends her thoughts up, you can hear everything she's saying. And he hides a lot of stuff in the house as well.
He was a naughty. Yes,
he's very naughty.
He's very naughty.
And, yes, he is.
And my mother used to like his teases, but she had to pretend she didn't. She'd say, "Oof, what are you saying that for?" But secretly wishing he carried on.
Exactly.
That was you're absolutely right.
He used to bounce off each other, them two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's such a mess. But he constantly hides your keys all the time. So if you're constantly looking for your keys, it's your father.
Stop sticking your tongue at me.
He's got a funny. Has there been something about your son or something. There's an issue with your son.
My youngest son
Yeah.
committed suicide.
I know he did, yeah, because he's just come through there. I know. I just seen him standing behind there. He was telling me that he did take his own life, and he was saying that he was sorry for what he's put everybody through. I just felt quite emotional when he's come in there, but he's fine. He's happy where he is, but nobody knows why. You know, he's just saying to me, sorry, he was so down and so depressed. Yes, okay.
Of the 3 boys, he was the most popular,
I know
the most
he was,
musical.
and he wouldn't have been the type of person that you would have ever thought of taking their own life.
No.
You know, he just keeps walking. He's standing with your father. He's with your dad. You know, but your son's got a big smile on his face, and he's so happy.
He used to tease my father a lot.
Yes, I know.
Chup. You know,
yes,
like
they're both winding each other. They're both
up,
laughing I can hear them both laughing with each other. Yes, I've got your dad on that side, and I've got your son on that side.
I'm the pig in the
You've
middle.
got company, you're piggy in the middle.
Well, one day our music teacher was teaching us. He's a classical teacher, and ne re ga re sa. So I would copy ne re ga re sa. My son was on the guitar, don 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 don, and my father would ah.
That's what he's.
And the music teacher's looking at me. I said, "It's not me."
That's what he keeps doing.
And he's saying, "He's an
singing.
old boy. He wouldn't believe that my father could sing so well."
Yeah, he's
I
got
didn't
a good
know.
voice. Yeah.
So, but I think he kept it down so my mother could look better.
Yes.
And that's one trait, Daddy.
Yeah.
Can you get rid of that? You're good in your own right, she's good in her own way. He used to hide it like sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
So he was always afraid
Yeah.
to shine.
Yeah.
He was one of 7 brothers.
Yeah.
So he was always keeping himself
He
down.
keeps singing when you're talking.
like,
I can hear him.
like a mosquito. Zzz.
In the background.
He's a funny guy.
But yeah, your dad and your son are both together. They're both happy.
Aye.
Uh-huh.
I'll pass this video to my other 2 sons. They'll be amazed.
Yeah.
My son
Is
was...
one of your other sons going to America?
My middle son then and younger son now, Praz, he's an inventor. So he's created some computer software, hardware.
Yeah.
And probably he will go to America. He's in
I've just
London
seen
at the
him.
minute.
So it hasn't happened yet,
Praz.
so it's going to happen. Yeah, he's going to America.
Wow.
He'll live in America as well.
America
Yeah.
deserves him. He's very
Yeah.
avant-garde.
Yeah.
And we are too backward for my second son to be Praz, yes. He's an ideas guy.
Yeah.
And he has his own style.
Yeah.
And they're all different. I think all children are different. Thank God for that. I don't produce clones. And they're all different from me. Thank God even more. Wow.
But yeah, your mum's going to be okay as well. She's getting looked after by your father anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's the prime carer.
He's the prime carer. He takes care of everyone. Yeah.
He's a canny fellow. I mean,
He's so funny.
that's the biggest trait he has.
Won't shut up.
Yeah, he used to tease. I mean, he was totally against culture. He would go to a wedding. He'd be the father-in-law, kind of, to the boy and tease him.
Yes.
And he's supposed to be gravitas and keep quiet. None of that hierarchy for him. He would tease and make friends with the youngest.
Yes.
And he would actually stick his tongue out at the new bride.
Yeah.
And nobody could believe that the father-in-law or the uncle-in-law could do that.
Yeah.
But he would.
Yeah, he
because he loved them.
Yeah, he was so down to earth as well.
Yes. And nobody believed that how can an old man like that stick his tongue out the little girl who just got married. But he's trying to make her happy.
Yeah. He liked to put a smile on everyone's face. Yeah, he's just keep constantly sticking his tongue out. That's all he's doing.
Well, at his funeral here, we actually had a cortege through, do you know the company called Go As You Please?
That's who I worked for. That's my friend.
Oh, my Carl Marlowe.
Carl Marlowe. That's my
Carl
friend.
Marlowe is a very good friend of mine.
He's a good friend of mine.
Well, he got a trike for my dad. And I remember the trike, the motorbike with that casket. And it's at the Newcastle, at Hindu temple. And this little boy is saying to me, "What's going on?" I said, "That's my father. He's dead." "What do you mean?" "He's going to heaven." "Okay." And the mother's embarrassed because she's English. And he's talking to a guy whose father's died. But I'm talking in a very natural way.
Yeah.
We had drums and everything.
Yeah.
So Karl Marlowe got to know about cremation. I did a lot of work for Hindus.
That's right, yeah. I remember him mentioning, that must have been about 7 years ago.
We went and cremated.
He was always going about these Asian, burials and things, cremation.
I got the field for the illegal cremation. I paid £500 to farm a pig, PIGG. And he gave us the field and we cremated a body. We told the council we're going to cremate on Friday, but Thursday we called the BBC and did it.
Small world.
And we did it. But I was a doctor then, so I couldn't do it publicly. First we cremated a sheep as a trial run. We do crazy things, But it's right, And when I cremated my father, the fellow says, I said, "Can I switch the thing on?" They said, "No, why?" He says, "Health and safety." I said, "I'm healthy, he's dead. What's your problem?" All these little rules from little people.
Yeah.
In Leicester, because there are a lot of Hindus there and they have got money, there are webcams on the cremation so people in Canada can see. But here you can't take a picture. Why? He's my dad. He's dead, like. He's getting cooked. I want to take his picture, like. What's your problem, matey? So I went to the council, and Karl Marlow was very strong in helping.
Yes,
And Mr.
yeah.
Ghai, the Babaji, would you like to meet Mr. Ghai? He'd love to meet you.
Yeah, of course.
He's
I
a
would,
psychic.
yes.
He's a psychic medium as well.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll pass you his details.
yeah.
Because there's so many people in this world. There's Matt Hudson's wife who runs angel workshops. It's a similar field, isn't it? She also
Yeah,
go
very
to
similar.
spiritualist church. There's so many people I know who are in this way. But despite being an English type of doctor with MBBS, MRC, GP, I still link with them. So there is that world out there. I can't wish it away. It does exist, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we hide behind religion, sometimes behind
right,
culture,
yeah.
sometimes behind profession. But this goes on all the time, you know.
But I even got barred from my spiritualist church for being too accurate.
Why, by being too good?
For being too good.
How can you get barred from a spiritual
I
church?
was.
Oh my God.
It's on all the national newspapers for being barred.
Well,
I was too accurate.
that's a tribute for you, to
It
you,
is.
isn't it? Thank you, spiritual church, for barring her. But there's so much humbug we humans do, isn't it? And inside we know it's false.
Yes. There's so much jealousy in the spiritualist churches. If you're better than them, we don't like her.
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger said it's easy to earn pity. It's very hard to earn jealousy. So you must be brilliant for people to be jealousy and a
As soon as I
spiritual.
meet somebody, I think, oh God, I don't like them. If I can't see anything, but as soon as you walk into a spiritualist church, yeah, they get a nice feel or a bad feel, but
Uh-huh.
the
You pick up the
jealousy,
vibes.
I pick it up straight away. Yeah.
So you've been banned from spiritualist church. Have you had any fracas with the newspapers, anyone? They like you when you're
they
up
like
there
me,
and
yeah.
shining.
Yeah, they like us.
But
Yeah.
is there ever somebody's take a shine to you and got annoyed and said, this is voodoo?
No. I mean, even at the Sun newspapers, the makeup artist that was doing my face and everything, the granddad came through. I was going, "You're reading when she's doing my face." They were all running in, going, "Is anything for me?"
So have you traveled through airports?
Oh yes.
Have you told the customs that?
Oh yes.
What have you told them?
Taxi drivers. Actually,
Yeah.
the taxi driver, I think he knows you.
Zaf-
driver.
Zafar Bhatti,
I can't remember his name.
Muslim guy,
Yes, he's a Muslim
who
guy.
asks everyone, where are you going and why are you going?
Yes.
And if you give me the answer, I'll take you free. That's Zafar Bhatti.
I didn't get free.
Okay. Now, his son's wedding is day after tomorrow.
Right.
Look, Zafar, I mentioned you.
Yeah.
So, the community radio is like that. It is for these connections. It's so nice that you know Karl Marlow, for instance. How would I know that you know Karl Marlow? When I see him next, I'll mention you. Yeah. So Karl Marlow was very good in joining us because then the other funeral directors didn't like him because he became too famous.
That's right. Nobody liked him. Yeah.
All these budgets and all these kind of guys. No, we are proper funeral directors. You morose old guys. I met a priest who was in charge of people who complained against priests. They're in charge of complaints department. So why would he complain against a priest? He said people would say that he came to our funeral, but he wasn't sad enough. The priest has to take on.
A lot of people didn't like Karl Marlow because he used to dress casual for a funeral, just jeans
He
and a
didn't,
dress
yes.
jacket.
Yeah.
Why is he? He's not formal enough.
And the caskets he made could be
That's
Newcastle
right.
United casket.
Exactly.
It could be English casket. It could
You
be
could go on the
wicker
back of a
basket.
bus. Yeah, anything. A cardboard box even. Because
you
he asked me to do a cardboard box. I thought
Yeah.
he was winding me up.
No, but people who wanted
Yeah.
recycling,
Yeah.
green type of people, they said, why bury so much plastic and wood and the formaldehyde that goes in our body, I mean, in burial, there's a lot of poison that we put into Mother Earth because you what do you call it when you put the stuff into the veins? It's toxic, formaldehyde, I think. And that's nasty. But when we started doing the cremation, they said, oh, the mercury in your teeth. I said, I'll put all the teeth out and give it to you. They don't like solutions. They always have a problem, And mercury, out of the cremations that are happening now. And Christians are having cremation not because it's part of their tradition. It's a convenience. Because there isn't enough land in England to keep burying people. There will be out left. So I think 75% people are cremated, Christian
They
people.
are, yeah.
But they have no ritual for it, and which is very sad, It's not part of the tradition. They just do it as a practical thing. And that's that. And a lot of people don't want to talk about death.
I was just going to mention that there. I was going to say a lot of people in England don't talk about death. They hide away from it.
But that's the only thing that's going to happen to you, matey.
Exactly, yeah. But I don't know if it's because people are frightened of it, but I get this when I go to a lot of people's houses. We sit down and talk because I don't just go in people's houses, do a reading, and that's it, gone. I do sit
You
talk
link
to
with them.
Yeah,
They're
link
like
with
an
them.
average
Everybody says, feels, oh, I've known you for years. I'll sit there and talk to them about death and everything. And
Things
As I say-
people don't dare talk about.
yeah,
Most people
Yes.
wouldn't talk
Yeah.
about it because
Yeah.
it's not a normal subject.
yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, you're on a really track to not only fame for yourself, which you're not bothered about, of helping people. Anyway, Spice FM can help you. I run a media house also. Any way I can help you because you're doing some fab work, really, and I'm so honored. But that's the beauty of our station, that we are not structured. In the BBC, you have to take permission from that one,
Yeah.
say nothing which is politically not correct, data protection, this, that, and the other. We don't have these issues, We do our best, we make mistakes, people forgive us, and that's like general practice as it used to be. Now doctors have to write. I gave her the tablet and explained the side effects. Of course you would explain side effects, but they write it down defensively. We are not defensive here. We do our best. We make mistakes. People forgive us, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
that's
you will
right.
be welcome again and again, and do readings and send people. It doesn't have to be you. All the people you've helped and blessed, they are welcome to come in and kind of tell their stories. On Wednesday, we do a show called Outside the Box, which means faith without religion, health without drugs. That's the strapline. So all the time we are looking for people who are different, who are prepared to be different, who are prepared to stand out like the tall poppy and have their heads lopped off. Because we love that, Because it's a free country. I mean, democratic country. Why should we not encourage that process of sharing and caring? Instead of the pretendy multicultural, One day we get picture taken with guys in a beard, guys in a turban, and that's it. No, it's not that. I mean, would you not say that we live in a wonderful area called Newcastle and the Northeast?
Yeah, I love Newcastle.
I think we are
Yeah.
quite blessed.
We are.
I mean, you're not into politics, but the Pegida March and all that was very good. It proved to me how the local white population cares about the immigrants. There were 5% Muslims, 95% white guys, most of them non-believers, but they will not have the Muslims slated by Pegida. So, that shows the culture of the area. And yes, we are slightly poor. We are big manufacturers, We're not that poor, actually. And our image is changing. And I love, this is the only place I've been. Carlisle, I was there for 10 months, and that's it. Actually, it's Barrow-in-Furness. I say Carlisle because nobody knows Barrow-in-Furness, So, where would you rather live if you'd never lived in Newcastle area? Where would you be? If you couldn't be here, for whatever.
If I couldn't be here.
Which is your other favorite place? Second favorite?
London would be easier for me.
Harrow? Harrow, of course.
Big.
It's too big for her.
Yeah. How do you cope with London, Cal?
I love it. I don't know
But it's
nothing
rich-
else. We live there. Born there.
It's rush.
I love the rush, but I live in a nice suburb area, so it's good.
Yeah, Harrow
so
is
it's quiet.
Harrow's cute.
Yeah, so it's very quiet. So yeah, we love it.
I think humans get. Why do people live in the Sahara Desert? Why do people live in the North Pole? They do. Yeah, people just get you. Why do people live in the UAE? It's just buildings and boring. I find it extremely boring. In the UAE is the most boring place. Just buildings and more buildings and more buildings and more buildings and more buildings.
And
There's
ACs.
and air conditioning, everything there. It's so boring. There's no culture there. If you sit at the airport, there'll be 30 people from Kerala who come to work. They look identical, like they come out of a slot machine. And I like variety. I like variation. I like differences. Then I can learn.
Yeah.
If I met only a Hindu doctor from Bihar, God, I'd die.
Mhm.
I don't want to meet myself. I'm stuck in this body. I meet outsiders. Don't you realize that it's only when you step out you realize who you are? When you
Yeah.
go outwith of yourself,
Yes.
when you meet someone.
I can
else.
answer that as
Go
well
on then, go
because
on.
when she came to London and when she went to the Sun, it was very different, wasn't it? The way she was perceived, so that was very special. So it was eye opening for her, the way people reacted to her.
So, were you like Dick Whittington sing The Big Bad World? How was it for you?
It was.
Because you're a local lass, aren't you?
I
You're-
am,
You're a
yes.
Geordie lass. You're just
Of course I am.
one of our local.
Why are you?
Of course I am. No, it's so beautiful to hear that.
I think it's funny when you're talking because you keep talking, then you've got a bit of Geordie in there.
I love it. I'm called the Broon Geordie. Like Broon Ale. But I've been here for a long time. I came at the age of 31. I'm 68. So where do you think all my interaction is here? If I go to
Yeah.
Patna, there's no one left. There's some long distance cousins who I don't much care for. And it's changed. I'm Rip Van Winkle. I'm here. When I cross on the motorway, if I see the Penshaw Monument, or on the train, on the Tyne Bridge,
That's me. Yeah.
Home.
That's for us. Yeah.
and for you it's Harrow, isn't it?
For me, it's central London, Harrow. I pretty much live there. So
But London is a country, isn't it? It's so big. It's not one. It's massive. No, that's what I mean. You're a Harrow lad.
Well, not hardly there, but you know.
So are you a
I'm in
London lad or a Harrow lad or an estuary
Pretty
lad?
much both. But the fact is, I mean, we're only 25 minutes away from central London, so I'm not far off from central
Well,
London.
25 minutes we'll be in the sea here. Like.
So, this place is very small.
But I come from a small town called Patna.
Yeah.
It has its own characteristic. People think we're stupid. And all the mining happens near us. It's exactly like here, you know. You know, Amanda, when I got into Freeman Hospital job, the fellow says, Gandoon. And I said, what the hell is he saying, you know? I said, are you English? He said, I am a Geordie. I thought, what's a Geordie? I thought it's some kind of a sect or religion or something. And then he said, I'm the plaster technician. You've just got a job. I'll get you a book. He gave me Bobby Thompson's cassette, VHS, and he gave me Lani Sel Geordie. And the next day he said, when you're on the ward, you know the woman on the 6th bed in C? I said, yeah. She's only from Whitley Bay. She worked in Woolworth. But she talks posh. So when she says, and good morning, doctor, and how are you? You say, Alreet? Alreet, champion? Alreet, champion? And that brought the house down, you know. She was the Mrs. Bucket. Okay. So when you talk to Londoners, do they mind your Geordie accent?
No, they don't.
They know you're genuine article.
Yeah.
You're the real McCoy.
The real McCoy.
Aye. I mean, isn't it true that the more true you are to yourself, the more happy and successful you will be long term?
That's right.
The more you pretend to be somebody else, bending out of shape, pretentiously, hypocritically, you're wasting so much energy on that.
Of course. I
Process.
think just be yourself. People prefer that.
I'm being so much myself. I missed the 1 o'clock block, so we'll have a break.
It's Red Hot Radio. Spice FM 98.8 FM.
Hi, this is Doc here with a retinue of people, all amazing people. We have someone who doesn't like coming on air, but you know my nature. I twist their arms like my naughty daddy and bring them in. We have Anthony Hindmarsh, partner to Amanda. Tell us something about yourself. Have you ever spoken on air?
Never spoken.
Congratulations, you're doing it now. Okay, so tell us about some experience you were mentioning just now about your mother. And Amanda, you can also add to it. Amanda, you start. What did you do?
Yeah, what happened was, it was a few weeks ago, and I had said to Tony, I says, why don't you go and see your mum?
Uh-huh.
To take her cards up and flowers up for Mother's Day. But
And
this was
does she live far away?
She lives in Northumberland.
Uh-huh.
And I said, you need to go up and take these flowers and everything. And when we went, I think we just called in Asda on the way, and he was going to, because he's very greedy, he was going to buy cheap flowers. And I went, no, get the expensive ones.
Put something, yeah.
Big bouquet.
Yeah.
But I was saying,
Make her
for a
feel
reason.
really good.
Yeah, make her really
For Mother's
special.
Day.
For Mother's Day, yeah.
Okay.
So he got a card and everything. And
You made this bloke get a card even.
Yeah, I made him get a card.
He's turning into a human being like. Okay, go on, next.
So what happened was, he took them up. I think he dropped me off home. And
he went by himself.
he went by himself,
That takes a lot of courage, you know. Facing your mom on Mother's Day.
So he went and seen his mum, and when he went into the house, you would actually say is that you went to see her, give her the cards and everything.
Okay.
You give her a kiss, left the house, and
Okay, tell us what happened. So you got the cards, you got the big bunch of flowers, and then you went all the way to mom's. Okay, and you met her, and then what happened there?
Well, she was looking for a rail tickets because she was due to go away. I went to see her on the Thursday.
Yeah.
I took a card up and obviously her flowers. And on the day, obviously, I was there for a couple of hours talking and that and having a catch up with her. And she was looking for a rail ticket cards and all that because she was due to go to Lincolnshire to see her family on the following Tuesday. And she couldn't find them. She was a bit stressed out and all that.
Yes, of course.
You'll be able to find them. So I was obviously, it was coming near at the end of the time, obviously, I was going to go back home. So I said me goodbyes and that. And then I just got this funny, sort of, feeling.
In your heart?
In my heart and in my mind that go back and give your mum a cuddle and tell how much you love her.
You couldn't, yes, you had to do it.
Yeah.
For no good reason.
Yeah. Something was telling us something's going to happen to me mum.
Oh, you got a foreboding about it.
Yeah. It was like a premonition. Wow. I just sensed something. So I thought, I went back and I love you. And she says, don't worry about me, son, I'll be all right. And I just had this horrible thought if something happened to her travelling on the Tuesday down to see our family down Lincolnshire. And sadly, I got a phone call. What day was it?
It was on Mother's Day. I think it was Mother's Day morning on the Sunday, and she was found.
My uncle found her. What happened was I got a phone call off my uncle. Must have been like the Monday or Tuesday. He says, "I've got some bad news. Your mum's passed away over the weekend." Now I was just totally shocked because I thought myself I had a premonition of something.
Yes, because you feel slightly responsible. You knew it was happening, and yet you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah,
but you can't go to the doctor and say, "I've got a premonition. Can you check her heart?"
The thing is, though, it's good that he went a week before, like I said. Because on Mother's Day, he would have walked in.
Not only he went, he bought a card, he bought an expensive bunch of flowers, he went back and kissed her.
That was my comfort and my what's it called, closure.
Yes,
that I did actually go and see my mum
and kissed her.
Yeah, and give her a hug and went back, which I loved her.
Yes.
It was
and she said, "I'll be all right."
Yeah,
but she might mean she'd be all right up there as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But from what I can gather, we still don't know how she's passed over. And obviously, we're just.
But you're okay with it. It's a closure.
I think what it is, to be honest, what I'm trying to say is the main reason why I'm quite I've grieved over me. I'm still going through the grieving process.
You're a little boy lost his mother.
The only comfort I have is my partner, Amanda. Because I know that obviously my mum's already been through. I've had messages sent through, and that's probably taken like it softened the blow. Because I know, like, obviously with that gift and being psychic, I can obviously have communication with my mum through my partner Amanda.
But isn't it good to listen to women who are slightly not as psychic as Amanda, but who are more gut feeling and act on it?
Yeah.
Instead of being the rational bloke, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yeah.
Amanda, even if it wasn't you and it was just some another boring Geordie lass who said, "Go and see your mum," and you did, how good you feel that you've done it, and how bad you might have felt if you could have bought the flowers and didn't, or even bought the cheap flowers and you didn't, or not got a card. You paid money for that card, but you got it. You know what I mean?
It is.
But people think like this, for themselves, no expenses spared, but giving to mother, "Oh, let's get a cheap one." I've seen so many families. For mother, they'll buy second-hand stuff. For themselves, they'll buy at least IKEA. And that's not right, I mean, if you're getting one of those shopping trolleys, get her the best. It's only 75 quid, the best one. Why get her that boring looking thing that will make her look dowdy? People just buy, think very small instead of giving the best. Television screen. Either they get it on rent, so when she dies, they don't have to pay, or they get some crappy little thing from Asda instead of the best. She's the person who's given you birth, isn't it? So you feel so good, especially with Amanda's own gift.
The thing is, this mum who's died, she's actually my adoptive mum because I'm adopted.
What's the difference?
Oh, no, still my mum.
It is your mum.
The point being is, I just found out some other heartbreaking news as well. When was it? Yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
I've just traced one of my natural half-sisters on my dad's side, only to find out that my natural dad died 3 weeks ago.
If you didn't have Amanda, you'd have a very hard time.
Yeah.
Because anyone you're connected to...
I'm calm, and I'm sort of like...
okay.
I'm okay. I'm not okay, but I'm sort of
but you're only smoking 2 tabs in the time we've been here. So you're really like...
2 tabs, that's nothing.
Nothing.
I usually smoke about 10 by now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So you're okay, really.
Yeah.
Amanda, don't you think that people, except for our friend here, start looking at why she died, do a postmortem, they don't grieve, they intellectualize the whole process.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
They blame the hospital, they blame the doctors, they blame the establishment, instead of actually sitting and crying. My partner, Dr. Kopelowitz, he was the head of the Jews for the whole country. And he said, "Oh, Anand, you're going to see Thea, whatever her name was. What will you say to her?" I said, "If she's looked after her mother all her life. She's 60, the surviving daughter. She never married. She never had a boyfriend. She just looked after her mother. So she has nothing to grieve about. She's done everything. So if she's crying, I'll just put an arm around her shoulder. If she's laughing, I'll just put an arm around her shoulder. No. You should say, what you can't endure, cure, you must endure." I said, "Are you the Archbishop of Ranchi, man?" People go into these funny places because they can't cope with the pain. Myself, when my son died, I never I cried, but I never grieved it because I'm the eldest in my family. I'm the eldest in the practice. I can't tell my junior partners I can't cope. But I did the whole 9 yards of the cremation. I took his, cremated here, took his ashes to India, shaved my head. Not that it's going to make any difference, except to me, the survivor. The rituals are there to help us.
Yes.
So to that extent, I think religion is wonderful because they've developed it. I have people whose parents die on Friday and Monday they're back at work. So what are you doing? I'm probably the first doctor who wrote bereavement on the sick note. And social services rang and said, "What do you mean bereavement?" I said, "Do you not understand English?" "But it's not in a book." I said, "Do I care what's written in a book? It is bereavement, full stop. So either you accept it or you don't. I'm a doctor telling you he's going through the bereavement process, and he should. I mean, his father has died on Friday. On Monday, why should he be at work? Why should he take sleeping tablets? Why should he take all this? I said, take two weeks off, go and cry. And in general practice, not quite at your level, but I do understand that people need their space. I mean, he's not a big man, 6'4" and 14 stones in weight. How much are you?
I'm 6 foot and I'm 19 stone.
19 stones. I was being okay. But he's a little boy. Actually, at heart, you're a little kid who's lost me mom.
Mm-hmm. I was a bit of a mummy's boy, like.
Well, why shouldn't you be?
Yeah.
So am I. So are we all.
I'm not fighting a minute.
Yes. Well, because you have a soft side given by your mother. The soft, kind nature in you. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, how could you love a woman if you never loved any woman ever?
Yeah.
The mother is the first beloved we have,
Yeah.
And they turn it into Oedipus complex. No, I just love my mother. Full stop. Why can't I? And vice versa. The girls love their fathers more.
Yeah.
It's natural,
Yeah, that's how it works, yeah.
But a mother's love is very special, Father's love is slightly tainted. Father's love is, don't you dare look at my daughter. I'll pull your bloody eyes out. Mother's love is, my son can make no mistakes.
Yes.
Amanda, would you say that? A mother's love for the first son is the most, what's it called? When you don't expect anything back. Unconditional love.
Yeah.
Means I'm just giving love and that's it. So, what's your relationship with your dad then?
My dad passed away 2 years ago on a Good Friday. It was.
Things only happened on special days for you.
Yeah, it was Good Friday. My dad comes through constantly. Keeps me updated as what's going on.
God, your world is buzzing even if
it is, even when I'm asleep. I was
going to say, what happens in your sleep? Do you see dreams? Do you see...
Well, I don't class it as a dream. I class it, what happens to me is...
what is a dream? Yes.
A dream is, I'll go to sleep, see my dad, whoever else has passed away. But what happens is when I'm totally relaxed in a subconscious state, you visit the spirit world in a sleep state. Doesn't mean you're dying, but that's what happens because they can get to you when you're totally relaxed. But the next day, I won't remember nothing when I wake up. It'll be later on the day. Little things will come back and go, oh, I was with my dad last night. So I'm being taken into houses and what it's like in the spirit world. Because a lot of people say houses, how they've got houses there. Every time I go to people's houses. They show me
in the
things.
Other world.
Yes. And my dad's so happy and comes through, but he'll always gives me updates and tells me things that's going to happen. And then it'll happen. I think,
so dad's a researcher.
Yeah. But I mean, when I wasn't well about 2 months ago, I took a photograph through, just with a mobile, took a photograph through the mirror. If you take it when it's slightly dark, have a low lamp on, you'll actually see spirit faces. And I've got one of my dad standing right behind us. So clear. It's amazing.
You can't text it to me?
I will do, yeah.
And I'll just put it on the spot. Not now. I'll add it to the video because I like all this, anything that happens to humans. I believe that we create the universe at another level. If I didn't have my 5 senses, you don't exist. Simply. Mm-hmm. So people ask me, where's God? I said, yeah, I'm talking to you. You're God and I'm God. We're all God together. There's no outside characters with a big beard in the sunshine looking like Charlton Heston or something like that,
My back's absolutely killing me.
The back's hurting.
Is your back sore?
Well, I haven't...
The lower part?
Yes, a little bit.
Thanks.
So, you taking on everyone's pain, that must be difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite used to it now. I know what it's like to have a heart attack. I know what it's like to have a stroke. I have them every other day, so...
No, but when you say stroke, I was very concerned that one of your arm won't work.
It'll go completely paralysed. I'll have a speech. I can't talk.
Like Bell's palsy?
Yeah. I think the worst one that I would get is cancer symptoms, which is like a burning sensation, but they pinpointed on the body of the area where they've passed away, like bowel cancer. I've had cancer of the brain before, which was like, whoa, take it off us, please. It's not very nice. I get all sorts. Motorbike accidents, I actually see them. People that take their own life, they show me that. There's all sorts. There was one time I was doing a house party in Durham a few years back, and you came to pick us up, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was so. When I talk about it now, it seems funny, but when I think, God, they must have thought, oh, what the hell's happening to her? Someone's brother had came through. Someone's brother had
in your spirit world.
In spirit world, I was giving them all a reading and everything. And at the end of the night, my legs went so weak and heavy. I actually was crawling out the front door. I couldn't walk. It was like as though my legs were getting pulled down by water. But a brother had came through and he had jumped off the River Tyne. He had jumped off the bridge and killed himself that way. So I was actually feeling.
So your brother and my son are similar people then.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when he had jumped off the bridge and everything. He was, I was crawling out the door. It's like as though he had to help us into the car, because he put that feeling onto me of the heaviness of the water, So I physically, it's everything I get.
It's very interesting. You're reminding me of the time my youngest son, suddenly he went off it.
Yeah.
He came back from Spain. He had a fight with me before he went to Spain. I'm giving him the money to go to Spain to teach English as a foreign language.
Yeah.
Instead, he was writing about beautiful buildings. He wanted to borrow £25,000. I want nothing in the will and so on. But really, he wanted to bring his mother and me together. He killed himself on the day his mother and I got married. He chose that day.
Yeah.
And a 9:15 jumped off the Tyne Bridge. And he had killed himself at 9:15. I thought he's just out of the house. He had been to psychiatrist. He'd come out of it. And then in the night, I went with my parents to my friend Shafiq because he teaches translation. So I said, Shafiq, if you would teach him how to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, he's quite good with both. I went to Shafiq, and this is now in the diabetic center in Newcastle General. And the morgue is just next to it, right? So I'm sitting there, and Shafiq is talking to my parents. And I said, is Sharad here? He said, no. And I was getting so angry with him, so angry, saying, why the hell don't you let me go? And 20 yards from me is lying my son's body. Then I went to work. My mother and father and I looked for him in Whitley Bay, or any bald guy. He used to shave his head. I was looking, we used to chase them up. It wasn't them. Next day, I'm doing a surgery, and the police rang, would you like to come home? I could hear my parents crying. I live next door to my surgery, 18 and 18A Elmfield Road. I say, has my son died? And the policeman says, how do you know? I said, I don't, but I'm asking you. Instantly they become into the fear category.
Yeah.
Then I'm sitting in the car. They let me drive all the way, all by myself, while I'm phoning my family in India to say, come down. You go into an autopilot and you have no time to grieve. Then I met a wonderful friend called Madhu who got me talking and got me crying. And in fact, I have something, if I have it here, my key. Yes. The only memory I have of my son is this. This is exactly at the spot where he killed himself. And he was a bit of a nutter. So
it's ironic.
That's why I keep that little nut on me, and that's it, So when you talk to people who don't know who killed whom, I mean, have you ever helped the police?
I've offered to help the police, but the police don't want to know.
Because they're scared.
With murders and things.
You might take their job away.
Exactly, yeah. But I have offered to help the police.
If I was a doctor, I'd go against all the rules and have you sitting in the surgery pointing out the people who are going to get cancer. And say, hey, John, would you like to have some blood test for prostate? There's something on your face. My friend Anthony Thawley was the head of the Department of Drug Addiction. Anthony Thawley, very big guy. He's now in London advising Home Office. He might even have retired. He used to write the star sign of every patient in the notes. In the corner on the first page, there'd be something over there. And he wouldn't tell anyone. But he would work with that way as well, quietly, as if it was witchcraft or something. Very successfully. He would see different star sign people in different ways. And he believed this. He took me to Durham Cathedral and said, this is Jesus' body, walk down. And as you walk down the cathedral, the tingling from the head will go down to your heart, to your feet, just as the cathedral is like the cross. And I could feel the pain in the heart, and I'm crossing, it's called transept, where the two parts intersect. So there are a lot of people, very scientific people, doctors, who do this quietly. They dare not tell anyone. And even things like nutrition in cancer. Forget all this spiritual world. Nobody talks about it. It's too low end in people's minds. People have been cured from cancer from just food. I mean, Cal, you talk about coconut oil. Just healthy food, high protein diets and all these. But I think the world is changing. The common man is getting power. Everyone has an iPhone. Everyone has YouTube. Everyone has Twitter. Everyone has that. So that power of the professional controlling the world, I think is changing. So things that you do will become more and more and more popular. I mean, just tell me a little bit. How do people get in touch? Is it always through Cal, or can people? How do people approach you? How do people get to know? How do people find out more about you? You mentioned house party. How does one arrange that?
That's the email address. Info.
So there's an email address called info@amandamolloy.com. Or as simple as that. You can't get simpler than that. Amanda Molloy is one word, and info@amandamolloy.com. So anyone who wants a reading, do they have to see you, or can they do it on the telephone?
You can do it on the telephone as well.
So what? I ring you saying, I'm Dr. Anand, can you give us a reading?
Cal passes me the first name, just the telephone number. I'll ring them up and.
So how do we get in touch with Cal then? This goes to Cal.
Yeah, it goes to Cal. Yeah.
It's good you got some person who's a minder in a way to protect you from crazy cookies. No, you need that because you can't deal with such a spiritual, soft, psychic world. And same with complementary therapists. People make fun of them, and yellow pages is not the way to do it.
No.
You get the cranks.
Yeah, right.
All my therapists, especially women masseurs, they get all the crank and the filthy calls and so on. So because I started a thing called Health 2000. We started in 1996, I think. But we called it 2000, nice round number. So I have 24, 25 therapists. I'll ask them if they want a party just with you. They might enjoy you. Because they're all in that other world. They're not quite into Western tablets pushing, herbalists and so on. Sandra Michelson, who was a dentist, turned into... she diagnoses by hair. She's also a psychic diagnoser. She used to be a proper dentist and she just gave it up because her son died undiagnosed. So things happen to people. You are quite unique that you born this way and can't help it from the age of 2. But other people get cancer and then they look at the other world, isn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
All ordinary people. It's your father's death or looking at... I mean, we need some pain, but you're just born this way.
Yeah, you see, when I've prevented a lot of people from dying as well. I've given readings before. There was one in particular guy that came to see me who, as soon as I sat down with him, he was about 40, and his granddad and his father came through. They both died with bowel cancer. So as soon as I sat with him, I was getting pain down the bowel area. And I said to him, you need to go to the doctors. And he just started crying. I said, you need to go. Why? I says, because, your dad's just said, does he want to come with us? He can prevent this from happening. So I made him give us his phone number. So I rang him the next day and said, hey, you made an appointment for the doctor.
So you felt responsible and you're like mothering him.
Yeah, and I said, you need to ring them up. And he said, I haven't rang them yet. I says, please ring them, please. He rang them and he's actually getting chemotherapy now. So I've saved his life.
Wow. So people like that are welcome on the show on Wednesdays here.
Yes, yeah.
Every Wednesday we do that outside. Rosaria Langley, Anne Langley, who was a filmmaker and a solicitor once, she did the World Peace Conference. We might have you there on the 21st of September this year. You could have a stall there. It'll be nice. There's drumming. There are alternative people who don't just do the 9 to 5, 2.3 kids and talk about credit crunch. Just ordinary happy people, musical people who are a bit off beam, not the boring middle of the road kind of things that kill you. Who are talking politics all the time and Labour Party, Conservative Party and party. It'll be fun. So 21st, we're also applying, I think she is, to Cannes Film Festival for a documentary on how good the Northeast is. With how the Pegida came and united us. And then there's also, all these kind of people would love you. The people who are very stuck in their ways, the shall I say, anal retentives, they can't hack you because they're safe in their little wells. But anyone who steps out, there is a big world out there. And today with technology, we link, I haven't, but normally I have my things switched on to Skype. I got people from, yesterday we had a lady from Bangkok ringing another show. Then we got people from Bangladesh and all, just ringing the show and talking on Skype. It's free. So have you ever used Skype to help people?
I haven't. No, there's a lot of people asking about Skype.
It works
as well.
wonderfully.
Australia, there's everywhere.
Oh God,
there's a lot been asking.
Shall I tell you something what I did to my mother? My brother came from Singapore and he's moved from Middle East to Singapore. So he doesn't need a lot of things. So he brought all his blankets, this and that. So thank you, Harsh. But he also gave me some money to do something for mum. So I got her a big screen and I put in Skype. But then you have to say Sushila Sinha 1927. And then you send a request and she agrees. But my nephew, who is very clever with computers, he came and set it up on autolog. So autolog means I can go with my phone and press the button, straight away it goes on to her. She doesn't have to move a mouse or anything. You can have something like that, all over the world. Yeah. As long as there's a system. Obviously you need looking after and paying. You can't just have anyone coming in and just saying. It's a bit like you having all these psychic characters coming into you. But Skype is very good and Skype is now running synchronous now. At one time you said something, then something came back. Yeah. This is in real time. Yeah. So I think it should be very good for you in getting into Skype. My music teacher, I got him into it. So he would sing, ni, re, ga, re, sa, and someone from Brazil would say, da, 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 da. Yeah. Then he would do. But now you can do it together. Yeah. You can play music together it's so fast. Yeah. So Skype is some wonderful thing.
I'll tell you another thing that I find interesting as well. If I have foreign people come for a reading as well.
From abroad?
There's an Asian. Yeah, there was this couple, there was a family in Newcastle. They were Asian. Mm-hmm. And
for people from abroad and
the mother couldn't speak a word of English. So she said, can I sit in on the reading? I said, oh, yeah. So she was translating in English and everything. So when the family came through, they were I says, I don't even understand Punjabi. I was like, I can't understand Punjabi. I'm from Newcastle, you'll have to translate. So they were coming through broken English.
So from the other world.
From the other world.
They were translating.
They were translating into English.
Oh my God.
So it was like broken English. So I was passing this on, and this is what happens with foreign people when they come for readings. So
you don't need a translator.
I don't need a translator, no.
Okay. So we're now coming up to another break. It's a break time, as they say. And then we'll carry on. We have Amanda Molloy right on cue. And we are so fortunate to have Amanda in the studio today. Good Friday.
Spice FM, to entertain, educate and enlighten. Text us on 800 39 or email us at studio@spicefm.co.uk. From oldie goldies to the latest hits, from discussions and chat to phone-ins and issues, Spice FM 98.8 FM.
Akram Hafiz. You're a DJ, aren't you?
That's right, yeah.
So what's your connection with Amanda, man? You're a DJ, you're a modern guy, scientific. What's you got to this mumbo-jumbo stuff?
I've been interested in it from a very young age, to be honest, just because of my own experiences.
What are your own experiences? Just one or two, if you can tell.
Well, I've caught kind of images on my phone and also video.
So you've actually seen things that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
In the ordinary sense.
I've also seen them with my own eyes.
So you're also fairly psychic.
No, I'm not. I don't claim to be a psychic.
No, you don't claim, but there is a sensitivity in you that many people suppress.
I can pick up sometimes things.
So you can pick up vibes and...
Vibes, yeah. I mean, I can meet somebody for the first time and I can just get a negative vibe off them straight away.
And then you stay away as much as you
stay away.
And that's why you're a happy soul.
Most of the time, yeah.
So how do you meet Amanda? I mean, you're a DJ type person. You're a young guy. Nothing matches here. So how do you know this lady? And you're the one who's ultimately...
some friends, basically, who told me about Amanda and obviously her gift. And
you heard about her gift?
Yeah, and so basically we connected through social media, Facebook.
Okay.
And we just got chatting through there.
So what you said to her, I'm very interested in what you do.
That's it. Yeah, it was just more of an interest thing. I've sent her some video clips as well as some images that, I've took on my phone.
If you can send them to me, I'll add it on top of today's YouTube. It just adds more picture and more people to see. Okay, so you spoke to our friend R.V. Narang, and you are going to have a show between 10 and 11 p.m.
That's right. Originally, he was meant to do the show, but he's away to Glasgow.
Yes, and so it befell on me and Sandeep. And Sandeep says, just see if they can do it in the daytime. It'll be so much easier.
Yes,
so in 1 hour. And here we are all together enjoying it. No, it's an honor and a pleasure that you linked us up. So I think the process has begun, I mean, any way you can bring other people who on Wednesdays is the real show for this kind of thing.
Okay.
So anytime you have friends, uncles, aunties, dadi, mami, puppi, anyone, even in your family, even if they can speak broken Urdu, it doesn't matter. If they come and say, this is my experience. Because, we are too much into the boring, prices being axed in as that everyone goes and buy. Petrol prices falling, everyone fills a tank. We're just living too materialistically. There's more to life than that. Amanda, what do you say?
Yeah, of course.
Would you say we are becoming too much shrunk instead of reaching out and mixing with different cultures, different people, different religions, different foods, which the Northeast is famous for, whether it's a Yemen people in South Shields. There are a lot of very pretty men and women, handsome men and women, because they got Yemeni features and sallow skin and a bit of Englishness. And it adds to the culture. It's not so incestuous and, what's the word? Inward looking. It becomes a bigger place. And I think the Northeast is a marvelous place. A lot of ideas here. The railway trains were invented here in the Northeast. There's a lot in the Northeast, You go to the, what's that called? Lit and Fill building. For 250 years it's been there. Books there are 180 years old. I mean, they've got a lot of wealth here in the Northeast, And this image that we're like the poor handicap kind of thing it's not true. Great inventions, great people. I mean, Akram, you're not a white guy. Do you enjoy the Northeast? You're born here.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine myself living anywhere else, to be honest. I've been brought up and raised here, all my life.
This is it. This is home.
And I've travelled quite a bit to other cities, and this just feels like home.
Even London.
Yeah.
And you didn't like it.
It's okay, but I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to live there permanently because I just feel like this is my home.
Yes, yes, your heart is
I
here.
feel comfortable here.
So when you're crossing the Tyne Bridge on the train, how do you feel? एक धक से दिल में नहीं लगता है.
Yeah.
धक से घर आ गया.
You
Home
just
is
feel
here.
glad, yeah, I'm back home.
Yes, it's true, you know.
It is true, yeah.
I mean, when I'm driving and the columns of the monument, or the angel even.
Yeah.
I don't love the angel that much. I wished it was more like the beautiful angel, but it's part of my world. And it's made Newcastle famous, you know. My guru from India phoned when it was, he said, have you gone and seen the angel? I said, why? He said, you go and see Shankar and all the big statues in India. You should go and see it as if it's a deity. Okay. Well, thank you for bringing her. I really must thank you because you're the originator of how this all linked up. And I think the trick, Amanda, wouldn't you agree, is listening to people. If they say, I've got this wonderful gift, don't say, yeah, and brush it aside. Every day people are bringing you wonderful things, isn't it? I mean, if you didn't link with Cal, and you didn't link with her, and you didn't know Arvi Narang, and I wasn't in Spice, though I'm a doctor living in Gosforth, what is the connection? And here we are all together. And then Karl Marlowe comes in the picture. It is fascinating how people link up. Don't they say that it takes 6 steps to link with anyone, but not in Newcastle? If you know one, you know them all. Like, it's true, you know, it's really, would you not say that? It's a small enough city.
Agree, yeah.
We live in a nice small city. And I think, I mean, we'll forgive you for living in North Shields or something. You're part of us, you know. It's all the same area, whether it's Whitley Bay, Newcastle, it's so small that you can't say I'm Newcastle and you're Whitley Bay. We're all part of the same thing. Even Morpeth is okay. You know, South Shields. And then Carlisle. But really, this Tyne and Weir is one unit to me. If I go to Sunderland, I mean, I don't play football, so I don't hate them. I mean, what do you think of Newcastle-Sunderland match and this
That doesn't
pretending?
really bother me. I'm not a football fan, but
Well, how can you-
I do readings in Sunderland, so they all love us in Sunderland. So
And despite you being a Geordie?
yeah,
Hi,
don't
sorry
push us
then.
away.
Okay. Do you find any characteristics in people of a certain area because you go beyond their face and their pretense? You can see beyond it. Do you find any certain characters in a certain bunch of people, or is it just something we create? They're people and they're people. Whether you-
Yeah, some people. There's some strange people out there. Different areas, different places you go to. There's friendly people, and
So it doesn't
you know, it
matter.
doesn't matter.
Each
Doesn't matter.
individual is different.
Yeah.
So you can be in any place and still find the variation.
Yes.
Okay. How do we? I mean, I want to promote Cal Palmer Productions' work, and I want to promote because you're doing something super and wonderful. So one is go to info@amandamolloy.com, and that Cal manages. And I strongly recommend you get Skype going. It's really very good. It is really very good. Cal, what do you think?
If you've said it, I will.
It works. It really works, you know. And the people will feel good. For you, it's the same. Whether you mention the name and you do the stuff, but they feel enamored and honored that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, you could have done this reading of me and my father.
On Skype, yeah.
But on Skype, it's almost as good as us being here today. What are you going to show us, Hafiz?
I'm just looking for a photo that I took before in the studio.
And you found something.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You've got a special camera or something. Infrared, ultraviolet.
Can't find it now. It's just,
No, it's pass it to me. I'll just put it all on. It'll be good if you did that. So we will have this, and I'll link you with as many people as I can. I will pass them to Cal, and he can monitor them. I'll pass you all the phone numbers of all my therapists.
Sure.
And I've known them for at least 15 years. We used to teach medical students.
Okay.
So they are good people. They're solid people. I know their background. I know their partners. I know their homes. And they would be good people to connect. You know, you could be connecting people because, you know, usually therapists are usually middle-aged women, and they're gentle and they don't use the internet and so on. But it needs guys stereotypically to come in and say, come on, let's get it all together.
Sure
It
thing.
doesn't have to be guys, but usually it is young guys like you who are psychically interested and technically competent. Have you not found that in the spiritual church, there'll be very good people, but nobody knows them. And there'll be someone who knows a little, but he's top on the SEO, search engine optimization. The world is a funny place, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know who you remind me of?
Nope.
Anil Kapoor.
Oh, thanks.
Has anyone told you that?
No.
I'm thinking all the time, who does he remind me of? Anil Kapoor and his brother. Very famous actors, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
You know Anil Kapoor.
I know. I've met him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've.
You met Anil Kapoor?
Well, his nephew's one of my best mates. Yeah.
Oh, I met Anil Kapoor's brother, Bonnie Kapoor.
Yeah.
In in Delhi, Okhla,
Mhm.
in the Film Institute.
In Asian Academy of Film?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I studied.
You studied there?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Okay.
I was there teaching complementary therapies,
Right.
and the light went off.
Oh,
I was teaching them stress.
Uh-huh.
So I said in Hindi, "Oi, apna mobile lao."
Uh-huh.
So they switched the mobile phones on, put the light on me, and I kept on teaching.
Wow.
And the fellow upstairs was so impressed. I said, "Why should I stop?" I couldn't do my PowerPoint. It didn't matter.
No.
I just carried on
But you
talking.
carried on.
Yeah,
Good place.
it is. It is. Outside of Mumbai
Yeah, well, it's
and
Film
Anupam
City,
Kher
Noida.
and all that.
Film City, Noida. So
Uh-huh.
it's in New Delhi.
Have you met Shakirul Alam?
No.
He is a Bengali boy,
Uh-huh.
Muslim, who can't speak Urdu,
Right.
from Heaton, just here down the road. You would have passed Heaton when you know Heaton. He went to Ravensworth School and so
That's
on.
where I went.
Eh? What a funny little world.
Well, there you go.
I went to Ravenswood.
He always wanted to make a movie.
Right.
And he and his friend put 50,000 pounds each of their own money and produced a movie called Teen Tal. And I've seen it. So a guy who can't speak Urdu goes to London in Anupam Kher's Institute,
Mhm.
finishes off in Mumbai, and then makes a whole Hindi movie. But what he caught was a musician who was learning acting. And the whole story is about music and tabla playing of a real people. But he's actually done and canned and shown. I've seen the movie. So there are people like that who finish the loop, who actually
do it.
deliver.
Yeah.
And he's only, 28, 29. And he spent 50,000 pounds of his and his best friends making a Hindi movie, which is 2 hours, 8 minutes long.
That's a long film, huh?
Yes, well, Hindi movie. What do you expect?
Very long film.
Oh, what do you expect?
Yeah.
And it has no dance and songs and no Kareena Kapoor, none of that stuff.
Wow.
It's purely about music. Teen Tal.
Incredible. I have a friend who's in Pakistan who used to live here. His name's Fahad Siddiqui. He'd probably be interested in watching something like that. He's a very keen tabla player, very, very talented.
Well, he would love it. It's called Teen Tal. I've interviewed him. I'll send you the link.
Definitely.
See, I like bringing people who are different from me. He's young, he's Bengali, he's Muslim. So, he's made a movie.
Exactly.
So that takes something. I mean, he's not from a family of movie makers. His father has a takeaway in Shire. As simple as that. And then he has the vision. But then his father also had the vision to encourage. And he did a chemistry degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made a movie. I like people like that who can step outside the box and do something completely different. Completely different. So I'll send you a link.
Yeah, please.
Because I love linking people. I mean, medicine is about that. It's reaching people, whether it's my excuse of being a doctor or yours of being we're into the same game, really, of reaching human beings.
Exactly.
And that's all it is. So I have nothing more to add, really. I'm just totally bamboozled by your qualities. But I'm not as well, because I met Swamis in India. And I've actually studied them. I also studied the Guru, Guru Shishya, Ustad, Chela, that master's teacher type of thing. I went to study it in India for a month. I was paid by the government to study it and recorded it. And it's the same thing, you resonate with your teacher and the knowledge kind of perfuses you. It's not from books. So it's the same thing. I mean, anyone in this room has to believe in you because we are like your pupil. You are extra gifted and we are slightly like, what do you call them? Bonsai plants. We're not that gifted, but we at least believe in you.
Well, I want to add
Wonder.
and take this platform to announce you guys will not only be able to reach Amanda and have readings with her, but soon you should see her on your TV sets via Made Television. So,
Made Television.
Yeah, so it's made in Tyne Ware.
Uh-huh.
So we're in negotiations to bring Amanda on screen. So I want to take this platform to announce that.
So Made Television should be coming through. You've already been on the best station in the world, Spice. Okay.
There you go.
When are you taking her to?
We're in talks right now. So we're in talks. So you'll see her soon.
And what about any functions you're doing? Any?
So we're going to be, she's going to be performing at Newcastle City Hall on September 26th. Tickets are on sale now.
September 26th.
September
yes.
26th, and that's
Well,
gonna
I'll
be...
definitely have you over on the 21st of September at the
Really?
World
Yeah.
Peace Day.
Okay.
Because that links with people who are very subtle, people who are at a higher vibration would be very happy to go on the 26th. You know what I'm
Brilliant.
saying? I don't think anyone is not happy, but some people are more tuned in, like the people in the room.
Yeah.
I am much more likely to go there than someone who does a 9 to 5 and is bothered what will people say if I go there. So 26th September.
26th September.
How do we buy the
City
ticket
Hall.
for that?
You go on to Newcastle. You can actually visit if you're in the local area. You can just go there and purchase, or you can go onto Newcastle City Hall's website.
So at the Newcastle City Hall.
Website.
What about info at Carl Palmer?
Well, info at Amanda.
Sorry, Amanda Molloy.
So info at AmandaMolloy.com is for readings with her, and we arrange those for the general public. But,
so what do you do if I email you saying I'm so and so, I want a reading? What was the next step?
It's pretty much getting a slot because she's so busy.
So do you maintain her calendar?
We have to maintain her calendar. She's a very busy woman. Either it's telephone readings or visiting homes and doing house parties. She just finished one which was quite a big one for 10 people. When was it? Last week?
It was last Saturday, wasn't it?
Last Saturday, yeah. So last Saturday.
So how long did the whole thing last in a house party? I'm very interested in a house party idea because a lot of people...
She does like, there's different packages. They're like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour per and one...
So when you say an hour and there are 10 people...
Well, fortunately for her, they didn't pick, not everyone picked an hour. So some picked half an hour, some picked 40
At the house party?
At the house party. So it's one-on-one. So I mean, it's
So she's like a mobile caravan. She goes there like a mobile van checking blood pressure and so on. She goes into that house. But then it's timed in that house. So it's not like a common house party. Everyone's not having a good time. You individually see individuals. Say we were there, then he might have half an hour, you might want 45 minutes.
No, yeah. So it's
okay.
literally...
So it's just making it more easily available.
Exactly, yeah. So everyone meets at one place. And
I wonder if I can go into an old people's home, being a doctor, and say, look, all your old people look miserable gits. I want to bring a lady, and obviously you'll pay. And I mean, it must be wonderful for widows and widowers.
I've been asked to do that before in old people's homes.
Well, we'd be happy to do stuff for charity as well.
Okay.
So if charity organisations.
I'll speak to the Handas. You know, they have 17 hotels and 4-5 homes. And they're Indian, so they might bend. I might bend a ear.
Well, we want to give back to the local community.
Yes.
You know, and that's very important, I feel.
But then again, you're giving what the people want, not just their 5 fruit and veg and boring stuff like that. The old people are a bit more likely to believe in you because they haven't got so brainwashed into just science, and only science. They have that soft side as well. Wouldn't you agree? Your mother's generation, your grandma's generation. Okay, I'll be in touch with you for that as well. I'm just writing all the things I have to do. I'm making a job for myself. No, it is.
So it's going to be a very busy time for her. She's got Made TV, which we're in negotiations with. The readings are going on.
Sunderland. Made TV in Sunderland.
No,
Made in Tyne and Wear.
Made in Tyne and Wear. So you've got that, and then you've got the show that we're preparing for, because that's a 2,100-seater arena, obviously. So City Hall is...
All right, another offering to you. If any time you need a 4K camera, free to you, I'll happily come and...
Thank you.
Happily video the whole thing and edit it nicely and give it to you. No cost, because you're doing good work.
Thank you. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very busy time for her. So she's going to need all the energy.
Well, we all with her. I mean, there's nobody in this room who is not 100% supporting you.
Exactly.
So how do you feel, Amanda, with all this love and support around you?
I'm loving it.
It sounds like McDonald's. I'm loving it. Okay. So, Made TV, we have to look out for September 26th. We can buy tickets for Newcastle City Hall.
Well, they're on sale now.
And on sale now. And constantly we are having, how much are the tickets?
They're £25.
£25.
There is going to be a premium ticket available shortly, pretty soon.
What does premium mean?
So premium means that after the show they can have a drink, a photograph, and an autograph with Amanda as well. So that's
but she won't be doing any reading, I hope.
No reading. She'll be smashed. She'll be a bit too smashed for that.
So how long is the show?
The show probably about between 2 and 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So
again, seeing how the flow goes.
No, not really. I mean, I think we need to. We have to strategize the show, the opening, etc. So it's going to be the most different psychic show that one's ever seen. There'll be things that you won't expect. So it'll be a very differently created and strategically based psychic show. But again, it's unpredictable based on
what do you expect?
Based on
Amanda's
what she does.
persona.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
how many seats are there in the hall?
2,100.
And there'll be about 4,000 other spirits around. blocking the place.
There was yesterday when we went and looked at it. Yeah.
It's very interesting. In the City Hall, I was called to give injections of B12 to Thin Lizzy, the music group.
Yeah.
And they're all, white bottom, pink bottom, brown bottom even. I'm giving it. I said, why are you taking these? I know you're paying me 75 pounds. Why? He says, we are all drug addicts and the B12 makes us feel better. So I just went and brought some crockery for my wife and gave it to her, but never mind. And in the evening, I had my doctor's thing, and I'm the only one only Indian, dressed in a three-piece suit with a doctor's bag. But when I saw the fellow who killed himself, what's his name? Very aquiline nose, very Germanic looking guy who actually committed suicide afterward. I had a very funny feeling about him. He was playing, but there was something pathetic I could sense in him. I haven't told you about my out-of-body experience. I was at Fatehpur Sikri, where Akbar had his the Mughal king, the one I liked a lot. And suddenly this poor guy who was playing the harmonium, the harmonium, people play like that? It was completely worn out. You couldn't make out the ivory from the ebony. It was all white because he had played so long. And suddenly I was lifted up there and I was sitting with Akbar watching down. And I've had these occasional unusual experiences. I went to see Gaurav and Aradhana. They have opened a perfume shop called House of Scents. I filmed it the day before. But last night I had a dream in which somebody's selling perfumes and this fellow comes in and smashes the shop up. Now, to me, I understand it not as a prediction, but as my love for them, that I hope nobody touches them. What have I got to do with perfumes? Except I like this young couple. They only got married a month ago and she's opened a shop in Eldon Square. Now, you have to be pretty switched on and courageous and lucky and everything to be of that level. And he's got a printing press here just in this building. So you go and buy a perfume and you don't get a company-made thing. You choose your own, what you want as an extra package. And it's packaged in a box with having your picture or your beloved's picture, which he does in the printing press. So they're combining all sorts of technology to make it very personal. But I had this dream, very strong dream. I didn't know I loved them that much that I had to have a dream about them after filming them. And the dream was in 4K as well, every little
You
detail.
love 4K, don't you?
I love 4K. Yes, I love 4K.
You have a love for film.
Well, because it allows some detail, I mean, I was a camera club secretary when I was 14 years old in St. Xavier's in my Catholic school. So I love videoing because it says so much more. And editing, everyone says boring. I said, no, you make the story what you see it as. You don't get the best shots, but you get the shots that make a difference, isn't it? I mean, you're a filmmaker. What is the meaning of editing apart from telling the story?
Exactly.
And you'll tell a different story from why we're the same shots.
Well, I mean, a prime example of films that come from the heart is my co-producer's film. It's called Allies. It's done
Allies. Is it
done very
available
well.
to see?
Well, it's available to purchase and
Where?
on Netflix, I think.
Netflix.
Yeah. Well,
Allies.
Or even on, you can go purchase a copy in any stores that sell DVDs. And
I
Blu-rays.
pay £6 for Netflix. I'll see
So
it.
I think you should.
I will
be able
see
to
it
find
free.
that. You watch it for free.
I will not have to pay. Buy one, get one free.
So that's the film that's got Sir Ben Kingsley's
Allies.
son in it. Yeah, it's got Sir Ben Kingsley's son in it.
Oh,
and,
wow.
My co-producer for the film we're making is Happy Hour Productions. They're based in Bristol.
Wow.
So they're doing very well. They do a lot of great ads. So they do ads that you see on television as well. So
Wow.
he's been on board with us for Tom George is the director of it. So we've been working on this film for a couple of years now. So we're looking to shoot this summer. So we're very busy.
So if Dad's death hadn't happened and the coconut thing hadn't happened and Amanda hadn't happened, you'd be a filmmaker.
Well, no, I would have been an actor because before I had to give up my acting career for Dad because I was an actor since the age of 4 to when Dad, because I even made a film called
Wow.
Love Struck.
Is it
which
available?
won- No, well, it might be. I don't know actually because it won Best Film at Portobello Film Festival. Even went to the New York Film Festival as well, won second prize there.
Wow.
So it's called Love Struck, but that was in 2005, and then we started seeing Dad deteriorate, and
That all changed for you.
Well, yeah, then I had to go get a day job, right? So and then I had to quit the day job in 2010. So there was a lot
It's
of
not been easy for you.
no, it's
You have to forego your own personal talents. But I also see
Yeah.
how talented you are. That's how you can cope with Amanda's talents.
yeah. Well,
You're talented in a different field. Otherwise, you'd say, I don't know. People have this. If they're confident here, then they can admire your quality. If they're not confident here, they'd be jealous, make excuses. in day-to-day dealings. I see that,
Well, we have a lot of offers with Amanda, so I think my job is picking the right path for her. And the reason we're here today is because we want to touch the core of your community, and that's where things lie, and that's where it should start. And we should always revisit the core.
In my community, meaning Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, and that Asian diaspora, they are much into this stuff, but they won't tell their white doctors. They'll quietly go to Birmingham to a Hakim, get cured, and come back. I've seen so many Muslim patients. Who's this guy in Birmingham? I never get to find out, but they come back better and they stop all the drugs. But also when they go to Pakistan or India for 3 months, I only give them 2 months tablets. I can't give more. And they haven't had any drugs and come back fine. As soon as they come back, they need all their drugs again. Because they're happy there. They're in their element there. They don't see racism there. Everyone says, Namaste ji, Adawar ji, Kaise ho ji. Everyone respects and loves. So they feel out of place. I mean, because I can speak English and because I've been a doctor, I've adjusted and accommodated and become part of this scene. But for a lot of people, say from Azad Kashmir, I mean, you'd understand this better. They're in a tiny remote village somewhere. From there to Islamabad is a huge, from there to Lahore is a massive cultural change. And then to come to Newcastle, and then to come to Harrow. I mean, it's like, and then to come to New York Stock Exchange. It's just on the layer, isn't it? Yeah. They're moving 10, 15 generations within hours. It must be very difficult. I mean, I found it difficult coming and adjusting to this country. People talked so softly. Cars weren't hooting their horn. Roads were clean. There's a phone call. Hello, caller. Who's that, please?
Hi, good afternoon, Doc.
Hi, Rob Pugel, the Englishman from Whitley Bay.
Can I have a quick word with Amanda, please?
You can have more than a quick word. Carry on.
Amanda, good afternoon, and all the other guests in the Spice FM studio.
Afternoon.
Hello there.
Listening in with great interest to what you have to say. I mean, Amanda, I must say you come over so eloquently and also so bubbly. It's sort of quite infectious, to be quite honest. And I'm listening, as I say, over the internet. And when you were actually describing, you were seeing someone standing next to the doc as he sits in his chair on the other side of the studio. I thought for a moment actually you were talking about me because
you're not my dad, but carry on.
and not his dad. But because the doc knows that when I used to do radio presenting, I used to be sitting in that chair, and he would come in for his show and pester me in and around. He'd be flitting around like a fly, next to a light, and disturbing me towards the end of my show. So I was sort of empathizing with what you were saying. I'm thinking, is Amanda seeing me?
You're not dead.
You're talking about somebody with a bad chest, and I've been off work with a really bad coffee chest, and I'm thinking, is she talking about me? Is she talking about me?
You're paranoid,
I'm
man.
Thinking, my God, I've got to ring in and say it. But I'm so pleased it's your dad, Dr. Anand, and I was so pleased to hear about your son being with Pop as well.
Yes,
with
yes.
Pops.
And that's quite reassuring, It's very
fantastic,
soothing.
Amanda. It's fantastic radio. You sound like a fantastic lady, and you're obviously doing some fantastic work, and God bless you. And that's it, Doc. That's all
What
I
about
wanted
me?
to say.
You never said nice thing. No, shall I say
really
something
good.
positive? This is the guy who's brought in a big photocopier next door with toners from his office.
Shut up, Doctor.
This screen is donated by him. No, we
Shut
don't.
up, shut
You
up,
see,
shut
in
up.
our culture, we don't praise enough. You're a wonderful guy. And the way you came across on radio. Can I tell Amanda about you? I mean, she's on air, so I'll tell her now. Shall I?
Can I just come off and listen to what you're going to say?
Okay,
and
go on,
I'll
listen.
finish it
Okay,
later
off
on.
you go. Bug off.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
I'll speak to you soon. Take
Speak
care.
soon.
Great show as usual. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Amanda,
Thank you.
and everybody else in the studio.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Amir Khan, that guy, is an actor who does no more than one or half a movie a year. He really becomes the part. His grandfather was a Muslim guy who didn't want partition of India. By that I mean, he's of that ilk. He made a series of movies even on pedophilia with live audience talking about it. He's so gutsy, and he's changed the complexion of India. He doesn't want to be in politics, but he is by his actions, and the commercial world and All India Radio and all combined for it. So he was really quite thing. This guy who's just been on says, Doc, I was sexually abused. Can you imagine a co-presenter my age is saying live on air? And then the next week there was a sex therapist and he sat next to her and he talked. So this station isn't just about bhangra and a little ting-tong and a little hear the movies. People talk about their feelings. And a bit like Jerry Springer's show, or who's Jeremy Kyle. And he's a co-presenter, a Hindu co-presenter who's working in the English world. He works in Kerry Foods. And he's so open-hearted, but he feels so much better. He's just thrown the boulder from his shoulder. And by talking about his abuse, he's encouraged other people to think about it. Because he says, my parents are very simple people. They couldn't speak English. And to them, every Englishman was a god. So if this photographer would take us to Kielder Forest for sex, they didn't know. They couldn't imagine that. It was outside the sphere. So he has set off a very big bomb for a lot of people. And there's a lot of things, bad things happening in society. We're talking about the grooming thing. We had Shaista Gohir from Birmingham who came and talked about what happens within Asian families, never mind the white girl and the brown taxi driver. And there are courageous people now coming out with all this pain. I videoed her, got her this thing. So I think, Amanda, would you say the world is in a melting pot? Nowadays, people are actually becoming themselves instead of stuck inside one rule. I'm a Shia, I'm a Sunni, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim, I'm an English, I'm Christian. Outside of that, we are thinking. I mean, that's fine at home, but we go and actually genuinely mix with each other. Would you say that in the Northeast, at least I've seen?
Yeah, it is like that now. Yeah, a lot of people talk about things that's went on in their lives
that you could never even mention once upon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of people used to keep it within themselves for years.
And burn and feel ill and feel unhappy. But now people are very open-hearted.
Yeah, a lot of people are open now.
So with that, we are coming to the end. So I thank you very much, every one of you, starting with Akram. Hafiz is his surname, na?
Hafiz is my face name.
Oh, Hafiz. Hafiz Akram. See, I've got only one name, so I'm called Anand, so I get confused. And everyone in the studio, but Cal Palmer Productions.
Thank you.
And Amanda. So as long as you go on to info@amandamolloy.com, you'll be fine. Thank you very much. Bye for the moment. Yoga and all that.
Yeah.
Where the Swamis can hold their breath for 15 minutes. I've seen all this.
Yeah.
But they don't want to believe it. There must be a trick. No, there isn't a trick. There is another world beyond Western medicine. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it was quite difficult. At 14, did you have any friends, girlfriends who were not psychic?
I had a lot of friends.
So how did they cope with you?
They loved it.
It's like being friends with Prince Charles when he was 14 or Shakespeare when he was 12. It's very difficult, because you got something they haven't got.
Yeah, that's right.
But you love them so much, you went beyond your gift. They could still love you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And did you do a normal school? You did O-levels, A-levels and that kind of...
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've done school and everything.
What for? Someone so talented, why do you need the paper?
Exactly. Well, everything I've done in my life for my job, I mean, I used to work in sales for, about 20 odd years.
Oh my God. I walk into the shop and she said, you need 7.5 brogue. I said, how does she know? And my wife said, have you met her before? But did you do that?
Yeah, I used to do that. I couldn't do a job with it. Everyone that approached me, I used to stand there and go, oh my God, I'm going to have to pass this message on. So I used to sit there and I couldn't get rid of them.
Because you couldn't help it. You couldn't.
I couldn't help it, but I couldn't get rid of them.
Wow. Wow. So it doesn't fit in with allegedly normal society.
No, it doesn't.
But if you have a gift you're giving in love and not charging even, why shouldn't you?
Exactly.
Why should you not?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you've grown older and you do this now, and that's all you do.
I do it.
This is your life.
This is my life. Yeah.
When did it happen? That change from selling things to ideas and spirituality and spiritualists?
Oh God, it was to be. I've done it over 20 years now.
Just this?
Just this, yes.
And you're from Newcastle?
I'm from Newcastle,
and I didn't even know you. How can that be?
Strange.
Because I had lots of patients that I go into that area.
Yeah.
I've done complementary therapy. Yeah. I haven't done it. I've helped people. Because I believe that Western medicine just cures the symptoms. It doesn't do anything long term. Mm-hmm. What is a chronic disease except something doctors can't solve? So give it a name. Chronic disease means I haven't a clue. Like MS, this and that.
Yeah.
So you must work with a lot of ill people because it's people who are in pain who would come to you.
Yeah, I get a lot of people because I do also healing as well. It's called psychic surgery.
Yes.
Where I had a gentleman came a few years ago who had a big tumor in his stomach, and he was busy going to the RVI for appointments and things. So I was giving some healing and everything. I was going back and forwards every week and everything. We went back for a scan, and the tumor had shrunk to a pea size. Then I went back again. The hospital were like, it's disappeared.
What was happened? Yes.
Where's it gone, I don't know if he's mentioned if I had done it and anything, but it just totally disappeared.
Well, most people wouldn't dare tell the consultant.
That's right,
because he's in a white coat, he's 6'2", he's got posh English, he's got a big car. I've been there a lot
Yeah.
with consultants saying, excuse me, she has got better. Or it's just, what do you call it? Spontaneous remission. So when it gets better despite the drugs, it's the doctor. And it gets better through God, it's
Yeah.
spontaneous.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit the bill. So you must have a lot of that.
I do, yes.
But we cope with it because you've got used to the ways of the world.
I do, yeah. I don't get a night's sleep as well. So
How much do you sleep?
I would say maybe it's about 4 hours, 5 hours.
And you're not jaded?
No, I didn't. But
because they'd spoil you. No, they would spoil you.
Exactly,
I mean, I'm loving and supporting what you're saying. But psychiatrists, because it doesn't fit their bill, they try to make you look nuts.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen a lot of this.
Yeah.
Being a GP, I've seen a lot of people.
Yeah. So it got really, really strong, whereas I couldn't cope at one point where I did have breakdowns and things between
the so-called real world,
the real world
and your psychic world.
Yeah. It used to get the way of my life, but I had to just cope with it. You know, Mum said you're just going to have to live with it. You know, so it was really, really hard.
So
now I accept
your gift was your trouble, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, a lot of people think it's like a burden in your life, but I help so many people out there that
you don't mind the burden.
I don't mind it now. Yeah,
it's
I'm quite used to it.
It's cross you bear.
Yeah, it's like a normal life now. So I just accept it. You know.
Okay. So from 2 you started this. Then around teenage you had breakdowns.
Yeah.
But I don't consider all breakdowns as breakdowns. They are spiritual awakenings.
Yeah.
You're approaching different bit of your human persona.
Yeah.
A lot of you're not nuts. You're just different.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You do feel different. It's actually, when you're at school and you're sitting there and you're getting people talking to you and thinking, who the hell are these people? You can't say anything to the teacher, you know, and you just get on with it. But as the years got on, at 14-year-olds, I started doing the Spiritualist Church.
Very good. Where?
And it was in Heaton.
Okay.
In Heaton, I started.
I have a lot of friends who go. I'm very, despite being an educated doctor, I also know that part exists. A lot of doctors know they exist. Not just spirituality. A lot of male doctors, white male doctors, have wives who do homeopathy, but they don't tell anybody in case people laugh at them. But they happily and secretly practice. Why? What's the harm? So, at 14, you were going to spiritual church, and your mother didn't stop you.
No, I used to go along with her.
Okay.
It used to be a regular occurrence. We used to go 3 times a week,
Wow.
and I used to get up and give messages to a full audience.
At 14?
At 14, yeah.
My God. Okay.
A lot of people used to say, how's she like that? Isn't she so young, you know?
So
I used to give full, messages and everything, and people were quite shocked by it.
Because it was truthful.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go back because the jealousy was bad. It was quite bad.
Because you were better than some oldies.
Yeah, that's right. The older ones were a lot of jealousy around me because how's she like that? And she's so young.
First of all, she's a woman.
Yeah.
Then she's only small.
Yeah, that's
and she's
right.
better than me.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. How can that be allowed? Yeah.
And I find what was really interesting as well is I get the physical symptoms, how people have passed away as well. So I find
So you take it on?
I take it all on. So I mean,
you wear that cloak?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So like having a stroke and things like that, to me is normal.
Oh my God.
And one day I'll have a heart attack and brain tumours.
Oh my God.
Amputations.
But that is empathy, the ultimate empathy.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So you go beyond your own skin.
That's right.
As a white female, and you could be sitting with a Chinese person, a 90-year-old, and you become that person.
That's right, yes.
So do you become that person on this side of the border or the ones who have passed away?
Ones that passed away, and I do both actually.
Okay.
Do both. But sometimes the transfiguration could happen as well, where my face will change to the person that's passed away, and they'll actually talk through me.
Yes.
So that really...
See, I come from India where these things are common.
Yeah.
People don't get so het up. Unless they study medicine and the brown doctors become so white that they're totally against all this.
Yeah.
They laugh at you all. None. Just take vitamin C, and I take ispagula husk occasionally, and I take fish oil for my brain. And that's it. Vitamin D because of the color of my skin. And in the wrong place in that way. But otherwise, no blood pressure, no nothing.
Yeah.
In a funny way, I admire you because I'm close to you. People who are not close to you, who are always other doctors, will find you difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, she's saying it's all in the mind. Yes, it is all in the mind. I've come a different route. I've read a lot of Deepak Chopra, done some meditation. I do biofeedback measurement of heart rate changes. I don't need it. I come from India where if a guru blesses you, it's finished. But for the Western mind, who's all into the mind and not into the heart, then you have to show it on paper and on machines. So that's why I'm keen. I had a thing called Mind Mirror. It measures brain waves while you're singing. To me, it's just a toy. You don't need it. When I'm singing, I'm in a meditational state. But the Western people need proof, visual, the eyes.
Yeah.
It has to be the eyes. How can we help people? I mean, Spice FM, obviously, I'll promote you as much as I can. I'll film as much as I can. And Cal is there. Cal, Palmer Productions, the company. And I'm here to promote any good work. And I think this is good work. Plus, it's not the standard boring stuff. 5 fruit and veg, 5 liters of water, exercise. Nobody talks about sleep, in this culture.
Yeah.
Sleep is easy, it's cheap, it's free. But, and I was telling Cal this morning that I have an app that measures your body movements on the iPhone. And it costs £2 or something, called Sleep Cycle. And once a week, once in 10 days, I notice it. Last night I slept 7 hours, 59 minutes at 90% quality. And I'm totally, It costs nothing, No sleep. I've never taken a sleeping tablet in my life. You don't need it, man. I mean, I drink alcohol because others drink, I join them. I don't need alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Do you drink?
No.
Why?
Not at all.
You don't need it.
I don't drink at all.
Because you're always drunk.
No, I'm not.
With happiness. No, with happiness and with service.
Yes.
Because you're secreting so much serotonin in your mind, being giving and happy. You don't need an external. I mean, have you been to India?
I haven't, no.
You must.
One place I would like to go.
You would love to meet equal spirits. There are Swamis who have just had milk and fruit for the last 50 years, perfectly healthy. I met a 104-year-old Lama, Tibetan Lama, and he walks around, moves around. He says, because I serve people, I'm needed here, so I won't die. Okay. And that is his belief. I mean, you're very young, but I'm saying this is your life, really. You've set your track quite early. Is there any big celebrities you've done that I would know of who are alive still?
Yeah, I've done a reading for Cheryl Cole.
Cheryl Cole?
I've done a few for her, yeah.
Okay.
And her mum, yeah.
Okay.
I was on a trip down London 4 years ago, just with my daughter, and I had mentioned that we're going to meet someone famous. I forgot all about it.
You told your mum?
I told my daughter.
Your daughter, sorry. You were the mum. Yeah.
We forgot all about it. We got down there and we booked in the hotel, walked along Oxford Street, and I just stood there and just looked and said to my daughter, look who's standing there. And she said, it was Peaches Geldof. And I said, go over and get your autograph, and she would.
Sick of the same old radio sound? Then you need vibrant radio. Spice up your life. Spice FM.
A very good afternoon to everyone, one and all. I'm here in the studio with lots of people. Let me tell you, I first spoke to R.V. Narang, who introduced me to Akram Hafiz, who introduced me to Cal. And that's how the human chain goes on. But we actually have in the studio Cal, who's going to introduce my guest, who I simply don't know. A very good afternoon, Cal.
Afternoon, how are you?
You're Cal Palmer of Cal Palmer Productions.
Correct.
KPP.
There
Yes,
we go.
you sound like KFC or McDonald's. Nice to have you in the studio.
Nice
Just introduce your guest to me. Tell us a bit about yourself as well, who you are, a little bit.
Okay, I'm the agent of Amanda Molloy,
Uh-huh.
we're a film production company,
Uh-huh.
and we have one talent, which is Amanda Molloy.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Based on how good she is and how special
Well,
she is.
you might have one talent, but
one
what a
talent.
massive talent I've seen and
It's
heard.
enough. My hours get eaten up,
Yes,
so
yes.
it's enough.
You only slept 4 hours last night.
4 hours last night.
Yes.
There you go.
And we couldn't get to. So tell us about Amanda a little bit, because she can tell us about herself.
She's a very special person. She helps a lot of people with her gift, and she surprises people and she gobsmacks people. And I've seen this consistently now since October of last year. So it's been very surprising for me, because there's no answers, there's no science behind it, there's no real explanation towards what she does and how she does it.
But because we can't explain it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Most things are like that.
Exactly.
But we pretend we know it. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's Amanda. Who else is in the studio with us?
So we have Amanda's partner, Tony. We have a great guy called Hafiz.
Yes.
And we have the CEO of Cal Palmer Productions, Monica Budia.
Okay.
And that's it. And then we have you.
Oh, well, yes. Hi, a very good afternoon to you, Amanda. It's lovely to have you. Actually, my name is Anand, and in Sanskrit it would be Ananda, which sounds like Amanda. So we are very close. Tell us a bit about yourself, if you like.
Oh, God, it goes back a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
I'm going back to a child, actually, about 2-year-old. As my mum at the time I didn't really know what was going on. I was only 2-year-old.
2 years old?
2-year-old, yeah. And
about 700 days old.
Yeah, so I was 2-year-old, and I used to go over to my mum and say I seen things and everything.
At 2?
Yeah, 2, yeah. Yeah, 2-year-old.
2-year-old don't even speak, man.
Yeah, I did speak at 2.
Yeah, not only speak, you
I
saw
used to be pointing at things and there was nothing there.
But you could see it.
I could see it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow.
my mum used to think I had like imaginary friends and things like that.
But like E.T.
Pardon?
Like E.T. the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
wow.
I used to see things, point, but it goes back to like my mum's side of the family, whereas she's like that, her grandmother and everything.
So it's a
And
line of gift.
It's a line of a gift. Whereas when I got to like teenage years, about 14, 15, I used to hear foreign voices like in my head. So I used to think.
Did you ever see a psychiatrist? You don't look tired, you look happy, you look without a crease on your forehead. How's that?
I don't know. The spirits must be keeping us young.
But also you feel you're serving people, isn't it? You're looking after people.
I am. I'm looking after people.
So you're
yes.
not self-obsessed as 99% of the people are. I mean,
That's right.
ever since iPhone came, our smartphone, everyone's into selfies. Everyone is photographing themselves. They're not bothered about you, me, or anyone. Just me.
That's
And
right.
Facebook is, I've had cornflakes today. I've eaten this. Who cares? Do something for other people, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I've seen me not wash my hair for a week and thinking, God, this hair is disgusting. I'm too busy giving everything to everybody else and tying me hair up, and I think, God, this hair's thick and greasy.
But you know,
It's
you'll
washed.
never fall ill because you haven't got time for you.
That's right.
People who are so involuted,
Mhm.
oh, I've got a little pimple, I better see the doctor now, today. It will turn to cancer because they're
Yeah.
so obsessed.
Mhm.
I mean, having been long enough in medicine, I realize that people focus on illness, not on wellness. You know, whatever you hate grows, you know, just let it be, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you said psychic surgery. That makes me think a bit. What is psychic surgery?
I just place my hands just a couple inches from the body, wherever you're getting the problem.
Uh-huh.
And people will tell me the sensation that they get is like a warm feeling. It actually goes so hot. They say that it's like being under a sunbed or a radiator or anything. And then they feel the tingling and then the heaviness.
You know, my hands are tingling just now. I've done Biora healing.
Mhm.
I'm much into stress and
Yeah.
biofeedback. So I'm really at the edge of science and at the beginning of wisdom, which is you.
Mhm.
So as you're speaking, my root chakra is tingling. My hands are warm. And I've helped people. I'm very much connected with neuro-linguistic programmers. I had a guy who had one hand missing in the war. He lost a hand, but his pain was in that phantom limb. And the chap just transferred the pain from the imaginary hand or the missing hand to the actual hand. And then he could deal with it. He could take tablets and it worked. It sounds so stupid, but it works. But doctors won't tell other doctors because, hey, you can't say that. It's voodoo.
Yeah.
Isn't
You're
it?
right, yeah.
So in the West particularly, we're coming from the East, and people accept these things. People accept holy water, Zamzam water, Lourdes water,
Yeah.
but they won't tell the doctors, you know,
That's right.
in case he thinks you're stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I dread going to the doctors because when I'm seeing the doctor and I'm talking about myself, I see people walking around them and think, I wouldn't dare tell the doctor. They'll take us away in a white coat.
Okay. On that point,
It's true.
would you like to, I would invite you to do a reading on me
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
what?
is he talking? Things will come through in any way, you know.
Okay. So when that
Yeah.
happens, just,
Yeah, I will.
you know,
do,
I'm
yes.
Indian, I butt in all the time.
Right, okay.
Just tell me, shut up, and I'm going to say
I'll
something.
say, be quiet.
Okay, do that. Happily.
Yeah,
Okay. So apart from being this highly energetic, highly psychic medium that you are, is there any other fields of interest you have? Do you listen to any music? Do you watch any movies? Do you
I've
dress
got
up?
I
Exactly.
haven't got time.
Because you have too much to do.
That's right.
So in your case, art is long, life is short.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just saddened that I've never met you before. I've been in this region from 1978. And honestly, I've been on Mike Parr show communicating about complementary therapies, taking echinacea. You know, I'm 68. I take no drugs at all.